Bullied Kid Prepares for Ice Age. A person in a green jacket, brandishing a cleaver, proclaimed that the deceased could also serve as sustenance, urging not to waste anything. Meanwhile, another individual chopped vegetables, and yet another person restrained Jang Yi as he was being prepared by a lady. Amidst this, a person comforted him, stating that they finally had food. Jang Yi cried out in pain, exclaiming how much it hurt. As he endured this, a new arrival caught his eye, a lady, none other than Ching. She mentioned how she was the one who had opened the door, demanding an extra share of the provisions. Without hesitation, she was given a helping hand. Jang Yi silently chided himself, realizing his own naivety and regretting his kindness. He vowed to repay this cruelty 100-fold, should an afterlife await. Later, Jang Yi awoke in his apartment, unharmed, the disaster yet to unfold. It dawned on him that he seemed to have been reborn, a month before the catastrophe was to strike. This cataclysmic event, caused by a meteorite impact, plunged Earth's temperatures to -60 to -70 degrees Celsius. Determined to ensure his survival, Jang Yi resolved to gather supplies swiftly, planning revenge against the bandits who had ended his life. He was keenly aware of the need for both protection and provisions, along with the necessity of acquiring weapons to fend off potential threats. Swiftly, he found himself in an alternate dimension, envisioning it as a warehouse teeming with vital resources. With the possibility of surviving decades in such harsh conditions, Jang Yi was resolute in transferring all his supplies to this dimension. Contemplating the impending global apocalypse, Jang Yi lamented the loss of culinary delights. His first impulse was to indulge in his favorite foods, leading him to visit one of the most prestigious restaurants. There, he ordered an array of dishes totaling 51,451 yuan. With a voracious appetite, Jang Yi devoured everything in front of him, pondering how, during the impending disaster, people would beg for mere cups of instant noodles. Leaving the restaurant several hours later, Jang Yi declined a very important person customer card offered by the waiter. Passing by, Ching and Lighthearted, acquaintances from before, were surprised by his apparent affluence. Upon their greeting, Jang Yi noticed Ching, the very person whose actions had led to his demise. However, he chose not to dwell on this past betrayal, informing his friends of his plan to visit the store for essentials. The friends mentioned that they were actually on their way to pick up a few items themselves. They decided to join forces and headed into a nearby store together. Inside, they were taken aback as Jang Yi began to fill his cart with nearly everything in sight. He explained that life could throw unexpected challenges, like a global ice age, and it was best to be prepared. However, Ching and Lighthearted didn't quite take his idea seriously. Instead, they suggested Jang Yi treat them to dinner as a token of appreciation for their help. In response, Jang Yi proposed a group dinner for the next month, citing his current pressing matters. Seeing his friend's emotional outburst, Ching reassured Jang Yi that her friend was simply tired, asking him not to take her words too seriously. Lighthearted, on the other hand, apologized to Jang Yi, recognizing him as a genuinely good person. A couple of hours later, Jang Yi, Ching, and Lighthearted were ready to leave the store, their carts overflowing with various food items. Jang Yi noticed the curious stares of passers-by, but he paid them no mind. His thoughts were consumed by the drive to survive and seek vengeance for his death. As they made their way out, Auntie Lynn passed by with her young grandson, astonished by the abundance of food in Jang Yi's cart. Auntie Lynn was both surprised and alarmed, fearing that Jang Yi might deprive others of food. Meanwhile, her grandson attempted to sneak a chocolate bar from Ching's cart without being noticed. Jang Yi swiftly intervened, reclaiming the chocolate from the child. In response, the child began to cry and threaten Jang Yi. Unfazed, Jang Yi warned the child back. This exchange caught Auntie Lynn's attention, leading her to criticize Jang Yi for scaring her grandson. She insisted on buying the chocolate from Jang Yi, promising to return with the money later. Instead of handing over the chocolate, Jang Yi presented his phone to Auntie Lynn, stating that she could either pay for the chocolate bar immediately or go to the store to buy it herself. This only angered Auntie Lynn further, as she threatened Jang Yi with consequences for his perceived greed. However, Jang Yi paid her no further mind. Soon, Jang Yi found himself back home with all his purchases. Li Caning kept reminding him to extend an invitation to Yu Ching to visit them. Following his plans, Jang Yi first inspected the storage conditions of the food in his dimension before turning his attention to the search for medicine and firearms. He knew that obtaining firearms would be increasingly difficult, whereas acquiring melee weapons and bows with arrows posed less of a challenge. The next day, Jang Yi checked on the food he had left in his dimensional storage. He observed that the meat and vegetables remained fresh, but the live fish had perished. Understanding the time discrepancy in his dimension, Jang Yi decided to conduct a similar experiment with ready-made products. Subsequently, Jang Yi made a call to organize a grand party for his friends. Upon speaking with the administrator, he was informed that such an event would cost at least 1 million on, requiring an advance payment of 200,000 on. Jang Yi promptly transferred the prepayment and then proceeded to use his house as collateral for the remaining balance. Upon mortgaging his house, Jang Yi found 6 million deposited into his account. He calculated his upcoming expenses for home renovations, medicine, and weapons, realizing that his funds fell short. Just then, a person approached Jang Yi with an offer from the company they worked for. Jang Yi was pleased to have swiftly found a way to acquire a substantial sum of money. This individual eventually introduced Jang Yi to their boss to discuss the terms of the loan. The director inquired about the amount and duration of the loan Jang Yi desired. Jang Yi expressed his need for as much money as possible within a short time frame, pledging to repay it all within 3 months, irrespective of the interest rate. However, before finalizing the deal, the director requested collateral. Jang Yi proposed his house and expensive car, valued at over 5 million collectively, as collateral. The director expressed doubts about Jang Yi's ability to repay such a substantial amount on time. Jang Yi attempted to negotiate, suggesting a loan of 4 million with a return of 7 million. Agreeing to these terms, the director and Jang Yi signed the agreement. Jang Yi left the office pleased, confident that he had secured the 4 million loan, as he believed these individuals would likely perish soon after the disaster began, relieving him of the repayment obligation. After deciding to fortify himself against the impending catastrophe, Jang Yi headed to the office of one of the largest security companies, the same company from which he had secured his loan. There, he was greeted by the manager of the commercial department, who eagerly listened to Jang Yi's request for a shelter capable of withstanding the end of the world. The manager assured him that their company could create such a shelter and presented various plans for consideration. Among the features outlined in the shelter designs were thick steel walls, bulletproof glass, a sophisticated ventilation system, advanced video surveillance, and armored doors. As Jang Yi reviewed these plans, he focused on the idea of turning his house into a sturdy metal fortress, impervious to extreme temperatures and unwanted intrusion. The manager assured him that their company could construct a shelter almost anywhere, regardless of the property's size or location. In a candid moment, the manager revealed that before his current role, he had been an international mercenary with extensive knowledge of such shelters. Intrigued by this background, Jang Yi inquired if the manager could assist him in obtaining firearms. The manager explained that it would take some time to arrange, as acquiring weapons for a stranger was not a simple matter. Jang Yi mentioned an encounter with individuals carrying machine guns, hinting at his ability to make connections for such needs. Appreciating Jang Yi's understanding, the manager promised to work on the weapons procurement while the shelter construction was underway, a process estimated to take up to 2 weeks. With firearms in the works, Jang Yi turned his attention to acquiring melee weapons such as axes and clubs. He then visited a hunting store, utilizing his hunter's license to purchase a crossbow and arrows. Content with his progress, he returned home about an hour later. Upon his arrival, Jang Yi found several food trucks and a curious crowd gathered outside his home. Spotting his uncle overseeing the delivery, Jang Yi explained that he had ordered the substantial amount of food and directed the trucks to proceed. Meanwhile, neighbors speculated on the cost of Jang Yi's lavish order. Among them was Yu Ching, who couldn't help but wonder about Jang Yi's apparent wealth and resolved not to embarrass herself in his presence. Though Jang Yi noticed her among the crowd, He feigned ignorance, plotting to rid himself of her at the earliest opportunity. Boxes filled with culinary delights from the hotel were soon arranged before Jang Yi. Overwhelmed with the abundance of food now at his disposal, he wasted no time in transferring them to his dimensional storage. The following day, construction workers and engineers from the security company arrived to transform Jang Yi's entire apartment into an impenetrable fortress. Meanwhile, Jang Yi's neighbors began to question his sanity, observing his extravagant food purchases and the fortress-like modifications to his home. At that moment, the manager from the security company reached out to Jang Yi, informing him that an acquaintance would provide him with a firearm within 3 days. After confirming the arrangement, Jang Yi notified the security company employees of his decision to stay in a hotel room during the construction. Subsequently, Jang Yi visited an acquaintance who managed a warehouse, offering to purchase the entire contents at double the price. In exchange, the acquaintance would take a brief vacation. Upon inspecting the warehouse, Jang Yi found an array of products, tools, and essentials that would prove invaluable during the impending disaster. While there, he noticed Zhou Peng, one of the warehouse workers, about to ask Yu Qing out to a concert over the weekend. Upon hearing Yu Qing's response, Zhou Peng immediately accused Jang Yi of causing Yu Qing's back pain during their recent store trip. However, Yu Qing interjected, claiming she was not in pain, only experiencing a slight tingling in her lower back. Jang Yi realized that Yu Qing had already revealed their activities to others. Despite Zhou Peng's insistence that Jang Yi compensate Yu Qing with 500 per doctor visit, Jang Yi reminded Zhou Peng that Yu Qing had willingly assisted him and that Zhou Peng had no authority to demand payment. This confrontation left Zhou Peng visibly frightened, warning Yu Qing to steer clear of Jang Yi. Yu Qing, unnerved by Jang Yi's drastic changes, decided to reach out to him directly to understand the transformation. However, Jang Yi chose to ignore her messages. Frustrated, Yu Qing sought her friend Li Caning's opinion on Jang Yi's behavior. Li Caning simply labeled Jang Yi as abnormal, advising Yu Qing not to dwell on it. About a week later, Jang Yi received a shipment of firearms, providing him with the means to defend against any potential intruders. Shortly after, a large package containing various medicines and first aid supplies arrived. Jang Yi realized he needed more supplies and enlisted the help of a courier. Meanwhile, he received a message from the security company manager, informing him that the conversion of his apartment into a shelter had been completed. Jang Yi returned to find his walls sheathed in thick steel, an advanced ventilation system installed, and the windows fortified with bulletproof glass, stronger than the steel cladding. Grateful for the thorough work, Jang Yi thanked the manager and his team, though he couldn't help but feel sorry that they might never witness the effectiveness of the bunker during the impending apocalypse. As the end approached, Jang Yi received his final order, a truckload of clean water, recognizing its crucial importance during the calamity. His kind uncle, curious about the water order. 3 days before the catastrophe, Jang Yi arrived early at work, determined to carry out his plan without suspicion. He discreetly added sleeping pills to his colleagues' tea, inviting them all for a break. Soon, all the workers were sound asleep, allowing Jang Yi to begin his plunder of the warehouse. Turning off the security systems and CCTV cameras, Jang Yi swiftly transported everything to his dimensional storage: gasoline, toys, food, household supplies, and more. Within moments, the warehouse was emptied, save for a small batch of goods left behind in a corner. After transporting all the contents of the warehouse to his dimensional storage, Jang Yi decided to inspect the boxes. To his delight, he found sets of clothing designed to withstand extremely low temperatures, a valuable asset for the impending apocalypse. With every box empty, Jang Yi returned to his sleeping colleagues, discreetly disposing of the sleeping pills to avoid suspicion. Hours later, as his colleagues began to awaken, they were shocked to discover the warehouse completely emptied. Jang Yi feigned surprise, acting as though he had just learned of the theft. A concerned employee approached him, holding a phone through which the director called to inquire about the situation. Answering the call, Jang Yi listened as the director grew increasingly furious, blaming him for the disappearance of the warehouse items. Jang Yi defended himself, explaining the impossibility of emptying the warehouse alone in such a short time. He suggested involving the authorities for a proper investigation. The director reluctantly agreed, promising to contact the necessary authorities. Jang Yi assured his colleagues that specialists would arrive for the investigation, urging them to cooperate. He then advised them not to worry, emphasizing that it was not their fault they had fallen asleep at work. A representative from the investigative commission instructed Jang Yi to report any details he discovered and requested that he remain in the city until the investigation concluded. Unconcerned, Jang Yi had no plans of leaving. As he walked home, Jang Yi caught news on a large screen about the theft at the warehouse. With only 2 days remaining before the global ice age, the temperature had already plummeted, sending people into a panicked retreat to their homes. Acknowledging the impending catastrophe, Jang Yi realized the world as they knew it was coming to an end. Meanwhile, Jang Yi slept soundly in his bed, unaffected by the global cooling crisis. In the midst of the night, Jang Yi received a call from Ching, who questioned him about his knowledge of the impending cataclysm. Jang Yi casually mentioned learning about it from a friend, prompting Ching to inquire why he hadn't warned her. Deciding he had heard enough, Jang Yi abruptly ended the call, leaving Ching startled and concerned. Unfazed by her worries, while enjoying his meal, Jang Yi received a message from Ching, requesting some food and promising to reimburse him for the costs. Jang Yi found her request naive, amused at the thought of simply giving away his reserves. Instead, he decided to playfully tease Ching by sending her a photo of his steak and wine. Ching was taken aback, shocked that Jang Yi would flaunt such indulgence while she was struggling with hunger. Fueled by anger, Ching contemplated sending an insulting message to Jang Yi. However, she hesitated, realizing she didn't want to completely sever communication with him. Deciding to assess the situation in the building, Jang Yi accessed the video surveillance system. Through the cameras, he observed Auntie Lynn attempting to convince residents to stay indoors until the snowfall subsided. She reassured them that the snow would likely end within 2 or 3 days, advising against venturing out to buy supplies. However, some residents voiced concerns, pointing out the uncertainty of when the snow would stop and the potential for steep price hikes if they didn't stock up. Auntie Lynn persisted in dissuading them from going out, warning of shortages and rising prices. Jang Yi emerged from the crowd, directing a stern warning at Auntie Lynn. He cautioned her that if the snow continued unabated, leading to starvation and suffering among the people, she would bear the responsibility. His words hung in the air as he returned to his fortified apartment, preparing for the days ahead. Watching the news updates, Jang Yi braced himself for the challenges of the global ice age, knowing he had taken every precaution to endure the harsh conditions. One of the residents mentioned to Auntie Lynn, "If we're not allowed to stock up on resources, what will happen if there's a shortage? Who will take responsibility?" Another lady resident asked Auntie Lynn, "Will you really provide us with food if there's a scarcity?" Auntie Lynn reassured everyone, "Don't worry. Our neighborhood committee will handle the responsibility. There won't be a shortage of supplies. The snow disaster will pass soon." Yet in Auntie Lynn's mind, she thought, "How dare this person challenge me in front of everyone?" Showing no respect. She then pointed at Jang Yi and sternly said, "Don't try to provoke unrest during this time. You're breaking the law and discipline." Jang Yi replied, "I cannot accept this false accusation." He then walked back to the elevator, stating, "Don't worry, it's cold outside. I won't come out even if you ask. I don't care what you do." Auntie Lynn, while glaring at Jang Yi, thought to herself, "Jang Yi is truly arrogant. I need to find a way to detain him in a secluded place for a few days." A few days later, in Jang Yi's room, he sat comfortably playing video games on his 120-inch television, with a PlayStation 6 and some chips by his side. While engrossed in playing Genshin Impact on his massive TV and munching on chips, Jang Yi remarked, "No need to worry about work or relationships. This life is much more enjoyable post-apocalypse." Suddenly, as he checked his phone, he saw a message from Auntie Lynn in the owner group chat of the Yuelu community. Auntie Lynn's message requested, "Jang Yi, the roads are blocked by heavy snow. Bring your tools and come help clear the snow." Eating his popsicle in the chilly apartment, Jang Yi muttered to himself, "Auntie Lynn is getting back at me by quickly sending me out to clear snow. He remembered how, in his previous life, the ground floor was almost entirely buried by now, and this snow would last for 3 months. He replied, "It's too cold outside. I might turn into a popsicle even if I attempt to clear the snow. Let's wait until the snow stops." In her apartment, Auntie Lynn, with her grandson, warmed up by an electric heater as she read Jang Yi's message. The residents chimed in, agreeing with Jang Yi. "It's over 70 degrees below zero outside. We'll get frostbite in no time. We don't even have proper gear to endure this cold, let alone go outside." Auntie Lynn pondered that no one spoke up until Jang Yi did. As soon as he did, everyone started protesting. She then responded to them, "What's with the attitude, everyone? Clearing the snow isn't just for me, but for all of us. The youth are strong and should take the initiative to serve the community. Don't always try to avoid responsibilities. Jang Yi, as a member of the neighborhood committee, I order you to clear the snow. This is a critical moment, and we must unite. Anyone who opposes will face consequences after the snow disaster is over." While sipping his ice-cold soft drink on the couch, Jang Yi contemplated the situation. Relying on the meager authority of the neighborhood committee to give orders all day long. The rest of these people in the group are clearly waiting for me to lose my temper and offend Auntie Lynn so they can cower and act like cowards, he thought. Feeling the urge to provoke Auntie Lynn, he replied to her, "Since it's for everyone's benefit, shouldn't the neighborhood committee take the lead in clearing the snow? We have plenty of members in our committee. Why single us out? Do you think we're easy targets? I don't see you calling out those socialites and wealthy folks. Why not? Are you silent when faced with them?" Some in the group chat sided with Jang Yi, agreeing that they shouldn't be pushed around. Another added, "Auntie Lynn seems to only choose the kind and honest ones. Why doesn't she ask Chen Jenha, how, and how?" As Auntie Lynn read these messages, she felt a chill, despite the freezing cold. Chen Jenha, known for his earth-moving projects and residing on the 6th floor with a sizable following, and Shu Hao, a wealthy kid from a well-connected family on the 8th floor, were mentioned. Jang Yi continued to stoke the flames, challenging Auntie Lynn further. "If you're so capable, why not ask Chen Jenha, how, and Shu Hao to come down and clear the snow?" he provocatively asked, remembering his past life where Chen Jenha had used an axe to break down his door, and Shu Hao was among the first to turn against him. Jang Yi resolved, "Neither one is good. Since I want to disgust you all, I'll see this through to the end," as he poured himself another glass of wine. Meanwhile, in another setting, Auntie Lynn fumed, "That bastard Jang Yi, now that he's naming names, he's made it clear he won't make it easy for me. If I don't act, no one will respect my authority." In a different scene, Chen Jenha sat on his couch, downing numerous cans of cheap Heineken as he received a message. "Who's bothering me in this freezing weather?" he grumbled. Auntie Lynn messaged Chen Jenha, stating that the community was their home and she relied on everyone to help clear the snow. She hoped that those who were free could bring their tools and join in the effort. The message was sent to both Chen Jenha and Shu Hao. Shocked at the message, Chen Jenha called Auntie Lynn and furiously exclaimed, "It's snowing outside. If you're out of your mind, go to the hospital. Don't act crazy here or I'll make you regret it." Auntie Lynn could only listen to Chen Jenha's rage over the phone. Shu Hao, lounging in bed with a sexy girl, scoffed at the idea of working. "None of my business. I don't have to work every day. I can sleep and stay indoors," he boasted. Dumb dog, using the owner's money to act tough, thinking she's become a master. What a joke. As the girl leaned in, Shu Hao took a selfie, mocking, "Hurry up and clear the snow. You guys still need to work and make money. After you're done, then I can go out and enjoy life." He sent the message to the group chat, further infuriating Auntie Lynn. She fumed, "Bastard, it's all because of Jang Yi. If not for him, I wouldn't have been insulted like this." In another scene, Jang Yi was preparing his deep-fried dish when Auntie Lynn confronted him, accusing him of trying to make her an enemy. "None of you will go out to clear the snow now. Are you satisfied? Do you want everyone to be trapped here?" Auntie Lynn scolded. She then continued over the phone, calling Jang Yi a coward who couldn't fight back. Fed up with being scolded and venting his anger on Auntie Lynn, Jang Yi retorted that she shouldn't provoke him. "If you bark like a crazy dog again, Jang Yi will end you, he threatened. Auntie Lynn was shocked by Jang Yi's words, muttering to herself, "Bastard, just you wait. I'll make you pay." Suddenly, Jang Yi's door was violently kicked from the outside, startling him as he sat down to eat. It was Chen Jenha, yelling at Jang Yi for his arrogance in the group chat. "Dare to talk about me in the group chat," Chen Jenha shouted, banging on Jang Yi's door. "I'll break down this door, drag you out, and teach you a lesson. Just you wait." Jang Yi swiftly picked up his crossbow, positioning himself near the steel door. He shouted through the opening, "Who gets beaten isn't up to you." Pointing the crossbow through the gap, he aimed for Chen Jenha's right leg. In his mind, Jang Yi considered that killing Chen Jenha too quickly would be dull. Instead, he decided to aim for his leg, thinking, no need to end this bastard's life just yet. Letting him suffer slowly will be more satisfying. With a steady hand, he fired the arrow, hitting Chen Jenha's foot. Outside, Chen Jenha yelled, "Coward! Hiding inside! You're doomed once I get in!" The pain of the arrow piercing his foot caused him to drop his baseball bat, screaming and writhing on the floor. Jang Yi smirked to himself, thinking, "Perfect. The arrow went through his leg. In this freezing cold, with no medicine and the risk of infection, he'll suffer a miserable death." As Chen Jenha limped away, sweating from the pain, he muttered about Jang Yi's seriousness and intent to kill him. Realizing the severity of his injury, Chen Jenha frantically searched for someone to treat his wound. However, with the crazy weather and no available help, he knew he had to act fast to save his leg. Desperate, he looked through his drawers, recalling surgery skills he'd seen on television. Using a pair of scissors, he attempted to cut the arrow, but the pain was unbearable. Seeing his leg freezing, he knew he had to act quickly. With determination, he used nail clippers to remove the arrow, successfully extracting it despite the agony. As he looked at his phone, Chen Jenha seethed, vowing, "Jang Yi, I will definitely kill you." In the group chat, Chen Jenha messaged Jang Yi, threatening, "Just you wait. If I don't kill you, I'll make sure your name is synonymous with shame." Jang Yi, undeterred, replied in the group chat, "Who do you think you are? Dare to provoke me again, and I'll cripple your other leg." Auntie Lynn and Ching were shocked when they read the messages, realizing the gravity of the situation. Jang Yi dared to confront Chen Jenha? "It seems he's even injured one of his legs," they exclaimed. In another scene, someone called for the boss and sought orders. The boss commanded, "Everyone, gather at the Yulu community now. Bring your weapons. I must kill Jang Yi, no matter what." Soon, a group of thugs armed with various weapons assembled at the Yulu community. A bald man approached Chen Jenha, saying, "Let's go now. How does Jang Yi offend Chen Jenha? He must be seeking death." Chen Jenha directed the thugs, urgently instructing them to head to Jang Yi's apartment. "Jang Yi used a crossbow and almost crippled one of my legs," he exclaimed. "That bastard lives in 2401. Take note and don't get sneakily attacked by him. Just destroy the door and go in to kill him." The group of thugs approached Jang Yi's door, shouting for him to open up. "Dare to shoot our brother Chen Jenha. Today will be the day you die. Come out and face your death," they yelled. They mentioned that the blizzard had blocked all the roads, and they had put in effort to get there, making it futile to call for help now. The bald guy among the thugs then swung his oversized cleaver at the door, sending it flying off its hinges and sticking into the wall. Surprised, he commented, "This door is made of metal. It's so heavy. How do we destroy it?" How many enemies has he made? This door is even stronger than some city walls. Meanwhile, Jang Yi casually glanced at his tablet, observing the CCTV footage with his pistol and crossbow at the ready. Unperturbed by the thugs ringing his doorbell, he remarked, "Annoying. They're back again." As his game ended on the television, Jang Yi taunted the thugs outside. "Don't you guys have any energy? Haven't eaten your rice yet." The thugs outside struggled to break through the sturdy door, shouting for him to stop being a coward and come out if he dared. Inside, Jang Yi prepared his hose, thinking to himself, "Why are you guys so angry? I'll help you cool down for free." He then inserted the hose through the door's mail slot. The thugs scoffed, saying the same trick wouldn't work twice, and to stop daydreaming, as they donned shields. Suddenly, They were drenched with ice-cold water, trying to block the spray as they shivered and nearly froze. Jang Yi relaxed on his sofa, satisfied with the effect. He had originally considered using his crossbow, but decided it was safer and more effective to use water against the thugs. In Chen Jenha's apartment, the shivering thugs returned. Chen Jenha demanded to know, "Where's Jang Yi, the bastard? Did you capture him and bring him back?" Furious, he threw a blanket at his thugs, demanding an explanation of what had transpired. The bald guy among the thugs grumbled about Jang Yi's despicable tactics. "His door is so thick. We smashed it for half a day and only a little paint came off. Then he sprayed us with water. We couldn't stand the cold," he complained. Chen Jenha observed the situation, noting the door's exceptional thickness. Despite this, he remained confident. Even if his door is made of metal, there will be flaws, he mused. He instructed the thugs to guard nearby, planning to strike when Jang Yi emerged. The bald guy agreed, eagerly adding, "Once he comes out, we'll slice Jang Yi into pieces." Another thug sneezed, perhaps from the cold. Outside, in the midst of the blizzard, Uncle Yu struggled to clear the snow. A resident approached him, mentioning they had been at it for half a day and still hadn't reached the ground. Lamenting the lack of manpower, they discussed the cleared snow within the community, but worried about the blocked roads leading to the supermarket. Uncle Yu sighed in exhaustion, acknowledging their struggle against the relentless snowfall. "You're right. The snow falls too quickly. Without a snowplow, it's useless. Everyone, go back inside. Don't freeze," he urged. Observing from afar, Jang Yi watched Uncle Yu and the residents trudge back to the building, enjoying his warm snack. He mused to himself, "Seems like they've realized it. Human power can't withstand this type of disaster." Switching to the news, it reported that officials were strategizing to launch the final attack on the snow disaster. The reports mentioned that due to poor snow prevention measures, 200 million people had been affected, with tens of millions dying. The news anchor urged viewers not to panic and to trust in the officials' capabilities. Jang Yi turned off the TV, feeling a sense of detachment from the outside world's struggles. The scale and duration of this snow disaster cannot be estimated using common sense, he thought to himself, yawning in boredom. Among the owners, Aunt Lynn could still be heard chatting away, trying to reassure everyone. "Have you all seen the news? Our country has the strength to deal with this snow disaster," she exclaimed optimistically. "Don't be nervous. All problems will be solved. If anyone's family needs supplies, everyone will try to help if they can," Aunt Lynn continued. "After all, this snowstorm will be over soon, so there's no need to hoard supplies." However, very few people responded to her words. It had been 2 days, and there was still no sign of the snowstorm ending, causing many to start worrying. Fang Yuqing sent Jang Yi a message again. "Jang Yi, are you okay?" Jang Yi raised an eyebrow, sensing that Fang Yuqing might be concerned about his situation with Chen Jenha. However, he couldn't shake the feeling that Fang Yuqing had ulterior motives. "I'm fine," Jang Yi replied curtly. Fang Yuqing responded, "Oh, that's good." But soon after, Fang Yuqing added, "We're running out of food. I remember you bought a lot of things. Could you spare some? I'll treat you to dinner later after the snow disaster." Jang Yi smirked to himself, not surprised by Fang Yuqing's request. "Sure enough, this woman must have a purpose for seeking me out," he thought. Recalling the last time he went to the supermarket, Jang Yi remembered seeing Fang Yuqing and Lin Caning buying some supplies. While it wasn't as much as what he had purchased, it was clear they might be running low on essentials. Jang Yi took a picture of his lobster meal and sent it to Fang Yuqing, teasing, "Want to invite me for a meal? Unfortunately, I have already eaten." "Look," Ching, seeing the picture and message from Jang Yi, remarked to herself that she had initially considered keeping him as a backup option, but now his position would be even further behind. Li Caning chimed in, agreeing with Ching. "Yeah, he should take a good look at his virtues. A man like that deserves to stay single for life." Frustrated, Ching grabbed her phone, intending to message Jang Yi. "Why are you so clueless?" she typed, expressing her displeasure at the situation. Meanwhile, Jang Yi sat in his room, determined not to fall for any emotional ploys. He replied to Li Caning's comment with a sarcastic tone. One act good, one act bad. So dramatic. Lee Caning fired back. Nonsense. Do you know how long this snow disaster will last? Just starve for 2 meals, and you might win Yu King's love. Isn't it worth it? Sipping on his cold soft drink, Jang Yi read Lee Caning's message and simply replied, "Oh." This response irked Lee Caning, who became even more upset. This is his attitude after I said so much. What does he mean? She vented. Turning to Yu Ching, Lee Caning expressed her frustration with Jang Yi's behavior. He's really terrible. I messaged him to help you borrow food, and he ignored it, she complained. Yu Ching, feeling exasperated, decided to put an end to the discussion about Jang Yi. Forget about him. Let's not mention him ever again, she declared to Lee Caning. Lee Caning suggested, Jang Yi is not enlightened. Don't you have other guys? Since we can't go out, let's ask them for help. Feeling a bit desperate, Yu Xing called another boy who liked her. Hello, is this Zhou Peng? I have a favor to ask, she said on the phone. A few minutes later, Zhou Peng arrived at Yu Ching and Lee Caning's place with some deliveries that Yu Ching had requested. Even though these are discounted items from the warehouse, I picked the most expensive and best ones for you, he proudly announced. Grateful, Yu Ching thanked Zhou Peng warmly, saying, Zhou Peng, you're so nice. Zhou Peng replied, It's no problem. I'm willing to do anything for your sake. Lee Caning closed the door behind Zhou Peng and took the deliveries inside. Watching the scene unfold, Yu Qing thought to herself about Zhou Peng. To dare to have other thoughts, maybe in his next life. 3 days later, Jang Yi sat eating his chicken drumstick and looked at his phone, anticipating what was to come. Suddenly, in the middle of the night, the power went out and people began shouting from their apartments. The individual stepped outside due to the power outage, and one person inquired, Is there electricity at your place? A woman holding a baby responded, No, we don't have running water either. There's no hot water to mix baby formula, and my little one won't stop crying. A man wearing glasses remarked, It's freezing out here. The air conditioner is useless, and we can't even use the heater. What should we do? Meanwhile, the mother tried to soothe her baby. Someone else questioned, Why haven't the authorities shown up to handle this? If this continues, I'm worried people will freeze to death. Another person asked, When will this snow stop? The air conditioner is useless, and it's degrees below zero inside. Yet another voice chimed in, We don't have much food at home, and with the snow, we can't go to the supermarket. Is there another option? In Jang Yi's room, he muttered to himself, We can't rely on officials at a time like this. He absent-mindedly picked at his teeth with a toothpick, while a plate of steaming hot chicken sat on the table. He then switched on his generator for light, making him the only one with lights on in the building. Elsewhere, Auntie Lynn and her grandson huddled under a blanket. Shivering, she wondered aloud, Wasn't everything fine just a few days ago? Why did the lights suddenly go out? In their neighborhood group chat, discussions were underway. One person speculated, They're saying this global blizzard might be a once in hundreds of thousands of years event. It could lead to another mass extinction, the end of the world. A woman countered, With a population of over a billion, it's impossible to help everyone. Several major cities here have already fallen. Another person added, If we want to survive, we'll have to rely on ourselves. Stockpiling supplies, especially food and heating sources, is crucial. Auntie Lynn read through the messages and thought, Supplies? I need to get some from the store. Meanwhile, her grandson asked, Why is it so cold outside? When are Mommy and Daddy coming back? Auntie Lynn reassured him. Don't worry. Mommy and Daddy will be back soon. She resolved to protect them both and ensure their survival. With that in mind, she messaged the group chat, Everyone, this disaster is temporary. Repair work is underway, and our neighborhood committee will manage things during this critical period. Non-cooperation will have serious consequences, with the police getting involved for enforcement. Lee Caning turned to Yu Qing and asked, Is the situation really that serious? What's going on outside? Shui Hao chimed in. She's so hooked on having a little power. So boring. Meanwhile, Chen Jenha remarked, That old woman using chicken feathers as arrows hasn't solved anything. Now she's issuing orders. His gang members shivered nearby, and the bald man asked, "Brother Chen Jenha, we can't go out. We don't even have medicine for reducing fever. How long do we have to tough this out?" Chen Jenha retorted, "Isn't it because you guys are useless? You didn't teach Jang Yi a lesson, but instead, he taught you one." Meanwhile, in Jang Yi's apartment, he had just finished playing Grand Theft Auto V. As he glanced at his phone, he saw Auntie Lynn's messages. She mentioned that the blizzard had severely impacted everyone's lives, and according to the official notification, the snowfall would continue for a short while. Auntie Lynn added that, in order for everyone to navigate this tough time together, the neighborhood committee would collect supplies from each household and distribute them equally. Reading Auntie Lynn's messages, Jang Yi thought to himself that she was using the same tactic as before, from his previous life. He then received 2 messages from Auntie Lynn, realizing that no one else had taken the bait, and she had decided to target him. Reading the messages, he saw Auntie Lynn's request. "Jang Yi, you work in a warehouse. You must have plenty of food and drinks at home, right? I remember you brought 3 carts of supplies last time," reflecting on his past life. Jang Yi remembered how Auntie Lynn had been the one to lead in coaxing everyone to hand over supplies. Initially, he had kindly given some away, but in the end, he became frustrated with the memory. Auntie Lynn continued to send messages, saying, "Now that everyone is facing trouble, it's time for you to help. Don't worry, after this snow disaster, we'll definitely return them to you. Everyone will remember your assistance." Jang Yi decided to respond with a sarcastic voice message, saying, "That's great, Auntie Lynn. Collect more supplies, but remember to give some if you collect them for yourself." He couldn't shake the memory from his past life. Realizing that Auntie Lynn had been one of the reasons why he had met a tragic end, Auntie Lynn muttered to herself, "This kid is a liar. You work at the warehouse, so you must have stocked plenty of stuff at home with all those discounted products." Frustrated by Jang Yi's reply, she held onto Xiaohu's head, reminding herself, "I must calm down. I can't give up. If Jang Yi, the big fish, falls for it, we can get many supplies. It can at least last them for a week." Determined, Auntie Lynn then sent Jang Yi a voice message, saying in a pleasant tone, "Jang Yi, everyone knows you're the supervisor of a large supermarket warehouse. Will you really have a shortage of food and drinks at home? This is an order from the organization. You must obey it. If you make contributions this time, everyone will remember your good deeds. Listen to me. Gather your things and at least take the lead." Jang Yi replied, "I'm really not lying. Everything has been eaten these days. Even the landlord doesn't have supplies. Why don't you give me a few packs of instant noodles first and set an example?" Auntie Lynn became furious, shouting at Jang Yi over the phone, "Jang Yi, are you defying me? I represent the organization. If you refuse to hand over the supplies, you're going against the organization. I will deal with you later," Jang Yi retorted. "Represent the organization? You're just the director of the neighborhood committee, not even a civil servant or business officer. Self-coaxing is fine, but you took it too seriously. If you have the guts, go order everyone. I'll be waiting for you at home." Enraged, Auntie Lynn hung up the phone and threw it, muttering, "Bastard! Thinks I can't do anything. I am the leader of this community." She then thought to herself, "Should I gather people from the community to pressure him together? No, it might cause trouble if everyone follows his example and refuses to hand over supplies. What's most urgent now is to deceive as many households as possible." Outside, night had fallen and the blizzard still raged on. Inside Jang Yi's apartment, he glanced at his CCTV camera and enjoyed his hot steaming noodles. He remarked, "There are really some gullible people who went to give Auntie Lynn supplies. Normal people's supplies can last at most 2 days. With the low temperature, it'll be consumed even quicker. But they voluntarily fell for it. It has nothing to do with me." He observed the chaos outside and concluded, "In this world, you can only survive with supplies. Otherwise, you can only wait for death." In the group chat, "Didn't we agree on unified distribution after you took away the supplies? We've finished eating all the food at home. Please give us some," another person chimed in. "Yeah, unified distribution. We all agreed on it. Let everyone have something to eat." Meanwhile, in Auntie Lynn's apartment, her phone was flooded with messages, but she ignored them. Xiaohu, her grandson, was eating inside the blanket, and Auntie Lynn chuckled to herself, "These are all mine. I worked so hard to trick and get my hands on these supplies. Why would I give them back to you guys?" Suddenly, Xiaohu pointed to her phone, indicating she had a call. Auntie Lynn muttered, "Those idiots finally realize it." She saw that Chen Jenha had called her. Curious, she answered the call, and Chen Jenha said, "Hey, Auntie Lynn, you're really something, tricking everyone out of their supplies and making them yours." Auntie Lynn replied, "As the director of the neighborhood committee, it's my duty to coordinate and manage supplies for everyone." Chen Jenha laughed and said, "Good then, we're running low on supplies. Bring them to me now." Auntie Lynn responded, "I still need to coordinate and handle these supplies. Some families haven't turned in their supplies yet. Temporarily, I cannot distribute them." Xiaohu continued to eat happily. Chen Jenghao's tone turned harsh as he shouted at Auntie Lynn over the phone, "Old hag! Don't be shameless. Those things have all been enriched by you. Let me tell you, obediently hand them over, or else me and my people will come to collect them personally." As Chen Jenghao and his thugs stormed Auntie Lynn's apartment, she shouted at them, "Don't come in. You're breaking into private property." Chen Jenghao, filled with anger, slapped Auntie Lynn across the face and yelled, "You tricked your neighbors for supplies. I'm doing this for justice." Meanwhile, in his room, Jang Yi watched the chaos unfold on his CCTV while enjoying his favorite sausage. He chuckled to himself, "Oh, the dogs have started to bite each other. Why don't I send this video to the group chat? Their reactions will be priceless." Shen Zhenghao ordered his thugs, "Start searching. Take all the food and drinks. The neighbors worked hard to stock them, and we can't let her take advantage of them." Auntie Lynn grabbed Chen Jinghao's leg, pleading, "You can't take them. Some of the supplies are what I stocked. If you take everything, how will my grandson Xiao Hu and I survive?" She begged for mercy, tears streaming down her face. Chen Jinghao coldly replied, "That's not my concern. Let go." Auntie Lynn cried out, "Please, let us live. I beg you." In a cruel act, Chen Jinghao kicked her in the face, causing her to collapse in pain. Xiao Hu witnessed the brutality against his grandmother and was filled with rage. He grabbed a knife and shouted, "You bastards, get out!" He stabbed one of the thugs in the buttocks, making a larger hole, as the thug cried out in agony, "Are you trying to get yourself killed?" In retaliation, he kicked Xiao Hu like a soccer ball, sending him flying into the wall and then crashing onto the sofa. One of the thugs laughed and remarked, "Hey, fifth brother, when did you become so skilled with your legs?" "Like Ronaldo," another thug added, "You kicked Xiao Hu so far. That was amazing." He tossed the knife aside and said, "Pretty cool, right? We should have filmed that." Auntie Lynn, who had been unconscious, woke up and rushed to Xiao Hu's side, comforting her grandson. Chen Jinghao sneered at them. "You both deserve it. Auntie Lynn and Xiao Hu are trash." He spat on the ground like a true gangster before leaving the apartment, declaring, "This is the price for tricking the neighbors. I'm serving justice." Meanwhile, Jang Yi had recorded everything and promptly sent it to the group chat. One of the neighbors commented, "She's a liar. She got what she deserved." A lady in the chat praised, "Brother Hao is so cool. We need to use violence to deal with these kinds of people." Jang Yi read the messages and muttered, "They haven't realized the main problem." Another person in the chat remarked, "If it weren't for Brother Chen Zhenghao, we wouldn't know how to deal with despicable bastards like Auntie Lynn." Yet another cautioned, "Brother Chen Zhenghao, be careful. She's shameless. She might call the police to report you." Jang Yi thought to himself seriously. Today, they dared to go into Auntie Lynn's house to rob. One day, do the same to their houses. He chuckled to himself and added, "But that's none of my business." Just then, Jang Yi received a message from the owner's group chat. Auntie Lynn was pleading, "Does anyone have hemostatic drugs, anti-shock drugs, antibiotics? My grandson was beaten up by Chen Jenghao, and Dr. Zhou urgently needs medicine for surgery." Jang Yi's mind raced as he remembered Dr. Zhou Keier. The message made him wonder, Dr. Zhou Keier wants to perform surgery on Xiao Hu? The urgency of the situation hit him, and he knew he had to act quickly. During the group chat, Dr. Zhou Keier informed everyone, "I've temporarily stabilized Xiao Hu's injury, but it's only emergency treatment. It won't last long. If any of you have extra medicine on hand, please come to me if you encounter an emergency. Jang Yi reflected to himself that Dr. Zhou Keir was a doctor at Tianhai First Public Hospital, known for saving many lives in his previous life. She was considered one of the few good-hearted people among this group of neighbors. Auntie Lynn desperately replied, Xiao Hu needs medicine to survive. Please, help me. I'll kowtow to you guys. Chen Jenha sarcastically replied in the group chat. You'll kowtow in the group chat? Mocking her plea. Another person chimed in. Dr. Zhou Keir saved your grandson Xiao Hu because she's kind-hearted. But why should we help you? You defrauded everyone's supplies. A lady added, saving is an act of kindness, but not saving is our choice. You're trying to morally coerce us. Your grandson deserved to be beaten as retribution. Meanwhile, Jang Yi in his apartment pondered on the situation. He noted that Dr. Zhou Keir, who was usually aloof, had spoken out in the group chat to save Xiao Hu. He acknowledged, it's indeed an act of kindness. But even if that kid is saved, the snow disaster will continue for a long time. The outside world has been paralyzed, and we can't hold on for much longer. Someone in the group noticed a window almost covered in snow, asking desperately, what do we do? The first floor is almost submerged in snow. A panicked lady exclaimed. The news said this is a disaster that happens once in hundreds or thousands of years. What will happen in the end? It had only been a week since the snow started, but the world was flooded with blizzards. In some northern cities, the temperatures dropped to more than degrees below freezing. The snowfall persisted for days, increasing instead of decreasing. Many cities were directly submerged, and residents who failed to evacuate were buried under the snow. In the midst of the chaos, Auntie Lynn continued to send messages in the group chat. I am a cadre of the neighborhood committee, and you all need to hand over all supplies. Failure to do so is a blatant violation of discipline, and you will be penalized. Another message from Auntie Lynn pleaded, hand over the supplies, are you all going to watch us die? And yet another message from her read, it's been a long time since Xiao Hu has eaten anything. Please, save him. He's still just a kid. Auntie Lynn sent another message in the group chat. Who has food? My grandson and I haven't eaten anything for days. I can buy it at a high price. A lady replied. I still have a few packs of instant noodles. I can sell them to you for each pack. Shui Hao quickly responded to the lady. I offer each pack. How many do you have? I'll buy them all. Meanwhile, Jang Yi in his room casually ate his chicken and remarked, things are getting interesting. The neighbors discussed the chat messages, with one person excitedly saying, each pack. Am I seeing things? Another person expressed concern. Why are the prices getting higher? I'm scared. Someone else chimed in. Stop joking. Do you really think it's the end of the world? A lady lying in bed remarked. It's just heavier snow today. Winter arrived earlier. It's not a zombie siege. Why are you all so scared? Jang Yi continued to eat calmly and thought to himself, zombie siege? Don't compare these lowly disasters to this freeze apocalypse. You guys are way too naive. In his room, Shu Hao shrugged. I don't care so much. I have money. Can't I spend money to feel at ease? If you want to sell, then private message me. If not, forget it. Looking out of his window, Shu Hao observed, the entire city's transportation and facilities are paralyzed, and the situation isn't looking good. I need to quickly get supplies from these poor people while money is still useful. People began messaging Shui Hao. A worried mother messaged him. How can you be like that? Our family has nothing to eat. Buying food is life-saving. Shui Hao replied. I didn't snatch it. I just offered a higher price. Isn't it their freedom to sell it to whoever they want? Why do you care so much? The mother then messaged the group chat. Everyone, please help us. My daughter is only months old. I don't have any food to feed her milk. We are about to starve to death. Jang Yi read the message and thought to himself about the desperate situation. He noted that the mother asking for help with her month-old daughter might seem innocent at first, but it was likely more complex. In his previous life, she had hung on for a long time while caring for her daughter, Shili Mei. 10 days later, while Jang Yi was working out, his phone rang. He picked it up and thought to himself that most people should have finished eating all their food by now. It was Yu Ching and Li Caning on the video call. In the background of Jang Yi's video chat, The shelves were filled with food. Jang Yi jokingly said, "Why did you guys video call me? Looks like you guys have lost weight. Congrats." Ching and Caning couldn't help but drool over the sight of the food. They asked, "Jang Yi, why do you still have so much food? Did you stock up during the last purchase?" Ching noticed, "Your place seems to be very warm. Why are you wiping sweat?" Jang Yi laughed. "Oh, these are just junk food. I eat them because I'm lazy to cook. Usually, I don't move much. My house has a fireplace, so it's so warm here that it makes the room uncomfortably hot." Ching then made a cute face and said to Jang Yi, "Brother Jang Yi, you're amazing. So well prepared. I admire you so much. Can you let me come inside your house and take a look?" To Ching expressed, "We haven't seen each other for so long. I miss you." In her mind, Ching thought, "Let me give you a little sweetness first. Then I can secure my long-term meal ticket." Jang Yi, annoyed by Ching's approach, retorted, "It's so cold. You should rest at home." Jang Yi thought to himself, "So disgusting. I must have been crazy in my previous life. Why did I spend years trying to make this girl my girlfriend?" Jang Yi then remarked to Ching, "Even though I don't know how cold it is outside, judging from your appearance, the temperature should be quite low." An irritated Ching shouted back at Jang Yi, "Jang Yi, don't go overboard. We're freezing and starving, and you didn't help, but you still dare to gossip nonsense." Jang Yi replied casually, "Oh, so you're quick to stop acting innocent? You took the initiative without a motive. I didn't see you going after a rich kid. It's okay to pretend, but don't treat me like a fool." This angered Ching even more, and she shouted, "Jang Yi, you bastard! Shut up." Jang Yi, unfazed, responded, "Aren't I just being honest and speaking the truth? Why are you so angry? We're not relatives or friends. Why should I help you guys?" Ching tried to continue shouting insults, but Jang Yi ended the call. In her rented apartment, Ching threw her phone on the floor in frustration and exclaimed, "That damn bastard! Who does he think he is to scold me?" Caning tried to console her, saying, "It's because you didn't do well. Otherwise, we could have enjoyed the things in Jang Yi's house." Caning then decided to tell Ching the truth, saying, "Jang Yi is much better than those from rich families. You're still pretending to be aloof. Now you're exposed, right? Acting like everyone wants you." This infuriated Ching, and her eyes turned red with anger. She attempted to punch Caning from behind, shouting, "Caning, you girl dog!" The two of them ended up fighting on the bed. The scene shifted to Jang Yi's apartment, where he watched the news. The report stated, Tianhai city officials have issued a notice that in order to meet everyone's demand for electricity, power supply will be provided from p.m. every afternoon. High-power electrical appliances cannot be used. Only low-power electrical appliances such as kettles, mobile phones, and other small devices can be used. Major power stations are currently out of operation, resulting in a shortage of electricity. We hope everyone will consciously reduce their electrical consumption to avoid large-scale and long-term power outages. Jang Yi sipped his wine and remarked, "Finally, the officials can't hide it anymore." He then opened his tablet and began reading messages. A person in the group chat exclaimed, "Have you guys seen the news? The power outage has begun. The rumors on the internet are true." A girl expressed her frustration. "What on earth are people doing at this time? Even my water pipes are frozen." Another person offered an instant noodle pack for sale. "I have an instant noodle at home. Does anyone want a pack for?" Jang Yi thought to himself that even though they knew it was the end of the world, money was almost useless and had no effect. Yet, people were still using life-saving supplies to exchange for things. Jang Yi walked out of his room and declared, "Life has to go on. Even if we lose hope, no one wants to die. We have to grit our teeth and persevere," as he held his wine amidst the blizzard. In various scenes, Auntie Lynn took care of Xiaohu and tried to wake him up, thinking of how she would tell Xiaohu's parents if he passed away. Chen Jenha held his pistol, thinking of Dr. Zhokar, how pretty and kind she was, and how she saved his legs. Meanwhile, Dr. Zhokar checked Chen Jenha's leg on his couch, reminding him, "Remember to give me the supplies you promised." Xue Hao carried boxes of supplies he bought for the poor people, thinking to himself that he could hang on for a while longer. Ching and Li Keining were bruised from their fight, talking to each other. Li Keining asked Ching, "What are you planning to do? Now that the entire world has the snow disaster, we can't go anywhere. Other than Jang Yi, who else can we count on?" Ching replied determinedly, "We will kill Jang Yi and occupy his house. Just the two of us aren't enough. We can't let too many people know." She then called for Zhou Peng. Ching beckoned for Zhou Peng and murmured to herself, "Certainly, just the two of us won't suffice, and I can't let too many people know." Zhou Peng arrived at Ching's apartment, and she exclaimed to him, "That despicable Jang Yi took advantage of the fact that he has good food and drink, deliberately humiliated me, and asked me to sleep with him." Zhou Peng, becoming angry, responded, "Jang Yi, that scoundrel, actually dared to do that to you? I will confront him." Ching then suggested to Zhou Peng, "We should raid his house. In the future, let's stay there together. What do you think about my proposal?" She then grabbed Zhou Peng's arm, causing him to blush. Ching, Li Keining, and Zhou Peng went to Jang Yi's room. Zhou Peng said confidently, "Okay, don't worry, leave it to me." Ching replied, "But you must be careful. Jang Yi is despicable and selfish. He will retaliate, so we must bring weapons and strike first." Li Keining added, "We must take him out first." At the door, prepared to strike, Ching had a bat, Zhou Peng a cleaver, and Li Keining another cleaver as weapons. Zhou Peng knocked on the door and called out, "Jang Yi, are you home?" "It's Zhou Peng." Jang Yi looked at his CCTV and wondered, why did Zhou Peng come to find me? He must be up to no good. Jang Yi muttered to himself as he scrutinized the weapons they were holding. "They want to kill me? Who do they think they are?" Zhou Peng continued to shout outside Jang Yi's door. "Jang Yi, it's Zhou Peng! Our family has finished all the food. We are colleagues. Can you help out? I'll exchange antipyretics for it." Jang Yi, preparing some water, suddenly noticed dirty water in his kitchen. He thought to himself, "Antipyretics? I feel bad about it. Let me think." Outside, Zhou Peng shouted at Jang Yi's door, "It's fine. I'm very hungry. We're colleagues. It's better to give it to you than others. Quickly open the door." With a cleaver in hand, he knocked on the door vigorously. Jang Yi then called out, "Okay, I'm coming," and he placed a hose by the male window. Ching, Zhou Peng, and Li Keining prepared for Jang Yi to come out, but suddenly they were drenched with dirty water. Li Keining exclaimed, "What the hell is this?" They were all now covered in dirty water. Zhou Peng, furious, banged on Jang Yi's door, shouting, "Jang Yi, you bastard, come out!" "I'll get you," Jang Yi replied, laughing. "Didn't you say you were starving? I gave you some leftovers. Why aren't you thanking me?" They all questioned to themselves, how did Jang Yi know that we are here? Zhou Peng then shouted at Doc, "Just you wait. I will get you when I get in." He attempted to stab the door with his cleaver, but it suddenly backfired, causing him to break his wrist. Jang Yi, looking at his CCTV and seeing Zhou Peng getting hurt, remarked, "Another idiot seeking death. I won't leave when I can. Don't leave my house. I won't take any risk. Wait until you all starve to death." Jang Yi then settled into his couch, too. While Jang Yi lay on his bed, he heard a gunshot and wondered if someone had a gun and had taken his banana tablet. He glanced at his CCTV, pondering to himself, "Chen Jenha? He hasn't died." He saw Chen Jenha gathering supplies in a room with his gang. Jang Yi thought, after the water supply was cut off, they used this time to dig the snow, melt, and drink. Chen Jenha and his crew targeted this period. The people on the third floor are doomed. Supplies were seized, and gunshots were fired. They won't last long until they all perish. With this realization, he set down his banana tablet. The Mohawk guy spoke to Chen Jenha, asking, "Brother Chen Jenha, we've taken everything. What should we do now?" Chen Jenha, while looking at his phone, replied, "No rush. Let's first give this group of cowards a warning." In the group chat, Chen Jenha declared, "The city has been closed due to heavy snow. We can rely on no one. From today onward, we must rely on ourselves. I will be the leader of this building, and everything will be decided by me." He added, "Listen obediently. I can ensure a good life for you all. But who dares to defy?" He laughed ominously. In another message, Chen Jenha displayed a gun in his hand alongside an image of people lying on the floor, forever asleep. As Jang Yi brushed his teeth, he muttered, "Chen Jenha is smart. No wonder he holds a high position in a gang. After all, pistol bullets and men are limited. It's impossible for him to fight everyone in the entire building, so he's using fear to control everyone. Suddenly, Jang Yi noticed a new message and remarked, "A new group." The name of the group was Resist Chen Jenha Owner Group Chat. A man stated in the group chat, "Chen Jenha is a devil. Snatched 3 household supplies." He broke the door to get in. A woman added in the group, "In room 3001 on the 3rd floor, there are 2 young men still resisting." They were silenced by Chen Jenha. A man with glasses contributed to the chat. Rooms 302 and 304, scared by Chen Jenha, honestly handed over the food and drinks. While wiping off the toothpaste from his mouth, Jang Yi read through the messages. A man declared, "We must unite and stand against Chen Jenha, this devil." A girl replied hesitantly, "But he has a gun," the man with glasses retorted. "So what? How many bullets does he have? They can't stop us if we attack together." The girl questioned, "When do we take action?" Jang Yi pondered to himself, planning to revolt. A man in the group chat said, "This isn't a problem we can't handle. We definitely need to punish Chen Jenha." A girl added, "After all, he's a desperado. He has a few men. We need to take a long-term approach." Another person replied, "Yeah, being reckless isn't good. We must use our wisdom and arm strength." Meanwhile, Jang Yi, sitting on his couch, laughed to himself. Now they want to use wisdom. Just now, they dared to act arrogant, probably to let other people who got heated up go help block bullets. Jang Yi then read another message from Uncle Yu. "We can't let Chen Jenha and the others continue to rob us. Otherwise, he will kill all of us. Not shoot to death, we will starve to death. Either way, we will still die." Uncle Yu, from his couch, sent another message. "I can't take the lead. Everyone, follow me. We will go teach him a lesson." The determination to stand up against Chen Jenha's tyranny was evident among the group. Despite the dangers they faced, someone replied, "Uncle Yu, I support you. Need weapons? We have an unsharpened butter knife," a girl suggested. "Chen Jenha is crippled. Uncle Yu, find a chance to sneak attack him from behind. Don't give him any opportunity to fight back." Uncle Yu responded, "Chen Jenha has 5 men, 6 people, and a gun. I can't succeed if I go alone. I need at least a few young men." Suddenly, another person replied, "No, Auntie Lynn from the neighborhood committee just defrauded us of our supplies. Who knows that you won't be like her?" A voice message was also sent. She said that old hag defrauded our supplies. If you use the remaining combat ability to find Chen Jenha and surrender, what will happen to the remaining old, weak, women, and children? In the group chat, people quarreled fiercely. A girl argued, "If we don't fight back, we'll just be waiting for Chen Jenha to come and easily kill us one by one. If we don't unite, sooner or later, all of us will die." Another girl chimed in, "Lu Tiantian is right. Who knows if Uncle Yu is the spy that Chen Jenha sent? Anyone who wants to seek death can go." Uncle Yu retorted, "Taking the initiative after being accused of taking advantage is called cowardice." A girl responded, "Who's the coward here? If all the men are killed, who will protect the wives and kids? Chen Jenha can't hold out for long." Meanwhile, Jang Yi was cooking and reading the messages from the group chat. He muttered to himself, "I expected too much from them." Jang Yi then poured his food onto his plate and sat on the couch. He sighed. Now the blame game is still ongoing. The majority of these people deserve to die. As he tried to eat his food, it was too hot and he ended up burning his tongue. In another scene, Chen Jenha and his gang raided another apartment, forcing the owner to permanently go to sleep. Chen Jenha shouted at his goons to move faster. One of his gang members spoke up, "Brother Chen Jenha, why don't we stop? There are so many other people in this building with food. We don't have to treat our own brothers like this." Chen Jenha snapped back, "Shut up. I told you to throw him. He's sick and will sleep forever in the room. You want to end up like him?" He pointed his water gun at the person. The goon quickly replied, "No, Brother Chen Jenha is right. Since he's asleep forever, we should make full use of him. They can help us survive a while longer. It's a good thing." Chen Jenha said to his gang, "Good, I'm glad you guys understand. My hard work has paid off. If I didn't have a gun, they would have listened to me. If only we could eat meat, then they would obediently follow." While eating his food and looking at his CCTV from his banana pad, Jang Yi remarked, "Chen Jenha is so ruthless. He's placed bodies outside, probably treating them as rations for when there's nothing else to eat." Jang Yi contemplated that if Chen Jenha provoked him, he would find a chance to make him go to sleep forever as he stretched his arms. The next day, a girl messaged the group chat in distress. Sob, sob, sob. Everyone, save me. I am below Chen Jenha's home. They are knocking my door down. Another person messaged the group. Uncle you, save me. Aren't you a retired soldier? They're definitely no match for you. They can't be trusted. They are too ruthless. We need to unite. A girl barricaded her room as people tried to break down the door. She said, if anything happens to me, you guys are next. She sweated in fear. Suddenly, the door was forced open, and she pleaded, No, I beg you guys. I will give you all the resources. Spare me, she cried as a shadowy figure spoke in Chinese. She was then grabbed by her foot and dragged outside of her apartment. She tried to shout into her phone for help. People in the chat messaged, You wanted to be a coward, now face karma. Another said, You deserve it. Luckily, it was you instead of me. Yet another remarked, Nice one. You earned us some time. In her apartment, Ching spoke to Lee Caning, say, Nah! We have to think of a way. We can't let this go on. Chen Jenha and those bastards will start killing women sooner or later. Lee Caning replied, What way do we have? We can't enter Jang Yi's house. We'll end up like Lu Tiantian soon. Ching thought to herself to tell everyone about Jang Yi's house having many resources and to join forces to occupy it. However, instead, she created another group chat named Mutual Aid Group and added Jang Yi. Ching then messaged the group, attaching her picture flaunting her small chest. She said, Jang Yi, it's too dangerous outside now. Chen Jenha and the rest will soon come and snatch our resources. She sent another message. Everyone, live scattered. We lack a good base. Your house has a balcony, and the security door is strong. I hope you can join our team. Or Jang Yi read the message from Ching and muttered to himself. It seems Ching has informed them about my situation. Not a bad move. They don't even know who crippled Chen Jenha's leg. He replied to the group chat. No need. Thanks. I am very comfortable alone. Find somewhere else to use as a base. Jang Yi thought to himself. Want to snatch my resources and house. They don't really think this trick will work, right? In the group chat, someone pleaded, Jang Yi, everyone's life is in danger now. You can't be so short-sighted. We can only survive if we work together. Another person reasoned, we chose your house because only your floor has a balcony convenient to get snow water. It's mutual benefits. Everyone can also protect you. Ching chimed in the group chat. I admit we need your help. But think of it. If we enter your house to take shelter, you can save 7 to 8 lives. Could you bear to watch us getting killed by Chen Jenha? We have been friends and neighbors for so many years. Jang Yi retorted. We are already in this situation. Whether you guys can survive or not depends on your own ability. You guys have no value to me. Why should I help you guys? After this message, Jang Yi left the group chat. Ching, Lee Caning, and 2 of their neighbors were shocked when Jang Yi left the group chat. Ching expressed, so unconscionable. We are acquaintances, yet he said such inhumane words. A girl then said to them, for the sake of my cousin, I'll let you guys live here. And you guys promised that you could convince Jang Yi to let us live in his house. Now that he doesn't agree, what should we do? Ching and Lee Caning grew nervous. A guy with glasses suggested, we shouldn't treat him kindly anymore. He is alone inside. Prepare well, and we can take him down in one fell swoop after forcefully breaking in. Another person agreed. Let's do that. He's so selfish, not fit to live in such a good house. I worked in a locksmith company before. I am familiar with these things. I can open all kinds of locks commonly used on the market, the girl added. Great. If we can open the security door with so many people, when we swarm in, I wonder how he can resist. They all gathered at Jang Yi's door, and the wannabe locksmith attempted to open it. Ching thought to herself, other than splashing water, Jang Yi has no other methods to use. She was prepared with an umbrella and added, when we go in, you're doomed, Jang Yi. Meanwhile, Jang Yi observed them from his CCTV and muttered, block the door with an umbrella and pick the lock? The security door is equipped with 5 layers of defense, comparable to an anti-theft level of a bank vault. If it can be pried open so easily, isn't my money wasted? He then activated his safe house control system and pressed the electric button, instantly shocking the wannabe locksmith. The locksmith cried for help as he was electrocuted, getting burnt and passing out in the process. Ching glanced at the hands on the door and felt terrified by the sudden turn of events. The guy with glasses shouted at Jang Yi, you bastard, come out! his cousin added. We originally wanted to come and discuss sharing the housing with you nicely. How could you kill someone? Now that Lu Tao is sleeping forever, you don't plan to give us an explanation? Jang Yi replied. What's the point of continuing to act nice after you pry open the door? You guys would have killed me or driven me out to try and survive outside. He grabbed his crossbow, aiming it at them, and continued. This is originally my house. You guys are acting like you're the masters here instead. You're seeking death. Jang Yi then shot an arrow through the mail window, instantly hitting the arm of the eyeglass boy, causing him to scream like a girl. Zhou Peng quickly carried the injured boy with another person helping him, saying, Let's leave. Jang Yi is really planning to kill us. The other person agreed. Life is more important. Let's evacuate first. Suddenly, 2 arrows flew and hit the other 2 boys in the arm and shoulder, and they all ran out of the hallway. Back in their room, Sister Wang looked at the arrow in Zhou Peng's shoulder and remarked, These arrows are all rusty one. The eyeglass boy added, That bastard Jang Yi is so evil, especially using rusty arrows against us. The boy with noodle hair chimed in. Without antibiotics in this weather, getting hit by a rusty arrow, we can only wait for death. The eyeglass boy expressed his fear. No, I don't want this. Sister Wang then slapped Yu Ching, saying angrily, It's all because of you guys? Didn't you say his door is only durable and strong? Why does he have arrows? Did you know this all along? Ran so far away? Yu Ching replied through tears. I don't know. The last 2 times we went, he didn't attack us with a crossbow. She held her swollen cheeks in pain. Zhou Peng stepped in, saying, Sister Wang, don't be like this. I can testify that Yu Qing really didn't know about it. The boy with glasses groaned. We are injured now. We need someone to take care of us. Sister Wang quickly tried to find help on her phone. Come and help. We're badly injured. We can only find Dr. Zhou Kaer. Yu Qing and Li Kaining attended to the wounded. Dr. Zhou Kaer arrived and started to help Zhou Peng. Sister Wang said to the doctor, Whether our family lives or not, it all relies on you. Dr. Zhou Kaer was shocked to see the arrow wound again. Sister Wang asked, Again, was someone else shot by an arrow too? The doctor replied, No, a patient from my hospital also has the same injury. The wound is too deep. Unless we have professional equipment for surgery, I don't have absolute confidence. Sister Wang cried, and Dr. Zhou Kaer added, Simply handling or pulling out the arrow will cause infection without the right antibiotics to treat it. I'm afraid. The situation was dire, and they needed urgent medical attention. Sister Wang exclaimed, Jang Yi is so ruthless. He must have done it purposely. How can he be so evil? Even if we occupy his house, we won't kill him. Dr. Zhou Kaer thought to herself, Jang Yi? He lives here? I've met him before. All these wounds are caused by him. Dr. Zhou Kaer then said to them, Anyway, without medicine, pulling the arrow out is dangerous. I hope you guys understand. Yu Qing suddenly remembered. Medicine? I remember Zhang Yi's house has it. 1 month ago, I saw someone deliver many medicines to him. The possibility of finding medical supplies in Zhang Yi's house gave them a glimmer of hope amidst the dire situation. Yu Qing recalls, just around a month ago, Zhang Yi changed his ways, beginning to stockpile many items at home. Trucks could be seen delivering goods to him nearly every day, and once a pharmaceutical company vehicle drove to the community, Zhang Yi would personally collect the items. Dr. Zhou Kaer remarked, Antibiotics are not rare drugs. If he truly knew in advance that disaster was imminent and stocked up on supplies, he must have a significant amount of antibiotics and anti-inflammatory drugs on hand. The boy with glasses and noodle-like hair, now turning purple from tetanus, pleaded, Hurry, go find Jang Yi. He's the reason I'm in this situation. Make him use his medicine to save me. I feel like I'm dying. Please think of something. Sister Wang exclaimed. We were just driven away by Jang Yi. How do we even get him to give us medicine? Yu Qing replied. We didn't intend to harm him. We only decided to break down the door and leave him with some resources after we took what we needed. It's just because he misunderstood us and treated us like villains. We are the ones in the right. We shouldn't be afraid of him. Dr. Zhou Kaer listened quietly from behind. Sister Wang said to Yu Qing, You can handle this since you suggested it. Zhang Yi proposed to you before. You're the most suitable for this matter. The others agreed. If it weren't for Yu Qing, we wouldn't have been shot by a rusty arrow. Zhou Peng spoke to Yu Qing. Please help us out. Only if we recover can we protect you. Yu Qing assured them. I will give it a try. She then asked Dr. Zhou Kaer to help remove the arrows from the boys. As Dr. Zhou Ke-er attended to the boys, Yu Ching found a corner to call Jang Yi. Yu Ching calls Jang Yi into a corner. Jang Yi answers the call and said, "Hello, what's the matter?" Yu Ching talks to Jang Yi, saying, "Jang Yi, Lu Tao is dead. Zhou Peng and the others were shot by you with a rusty arrow. They are about to die too." She cries, and Jang Yi responds, "Oh, that's good. People like them should die early. Do you guys think you can really survive in this snowstorm?" While Jang Yi cuts a huge steak in his kitchen, he thinks to himself, the city is sealed due to heavy snow. Now it's an island with limited resources. So what if you guys can try to survive? Once resources run out, the rest will get killed by Chen Jenha, freeze, or starve to death. Yu Ching talks to Jang Yi, saying, "I know that I am wrong. It's all my fault. I will change. Can you forgive me? Zhou Peng and the others were shot by you, and we don't have medicine at home. They will die because of infection. You bought many medicines before the snowstorm. Please lend us some of it. I promise we won't ever disturb you again." Sister Wang then grabbed the phone from Yu Ching, shouting at Jang Yi, "Jang Yi, now everyone is in danger. Chen Jenha is a bully who kills people like ants. Don't be so heartless. In the future, we might be useful to you." Jang Yi replied as he cooked his Wagyu steak. "Heartless? Take a guess. Why do you think I shot them with rusty arrows? I simply want to see you all injured, infected, and slowly tortured to death, bit by bit, in despair and pain. The bodies of your accomplices still lie at my doorstep. No matter what, this hatred will never end. Want me to help you now and wait for you to seek revenge in the future?" Sister Wang replied, "We're not that kind of people." Jang Yi retorted, "Stop it. It's meaningless. Since I've shown interest in Yu Ching in the past, I can consider letting her come alone." Yu Ching took the phone when she heard her name and said, "Big brother Jang Yi, please let me live in your house. I'll be your woman. I'll do whatever you ask of me. Can I really live in your house?" Jang Yi quickly responded, "Okay, quickly come to me, Yu Ching." At her side, Li Kaining said to Yu Ching, "Bring me along." Jang Yi then told Yu Ching, "I only like you. You have to keep a distance from those ungrateful people who hold us back. Don't you think so?" Yu Ching replied, "Brother, you have the final say in everything. I will listen to you. I will go there right away." As she made her way, Li Kaining tried to grab Yu Ching, but Yu Ching swiftly slapped her away, saying, "Get lost. Don't stop me from going to Jang Yi's house. I've had enough." Sister Wang then slapped Yu Ching's face, saying, "You shameless girl, you have caused us so much misery, and now you want to leave? There is no way out." Meanwhile, Zhou Peng watched Yu Ching from a distance, ready to leave her for another guy. He said, "Yu Ching, how could you do this to me? Didn't you say that you hate Jang Yi the most and want to be with me?" Yu Ching replied to Zhou Peng, "Is there a problem with me pursuing my own happiness? Being with you is only temporary. In the future, if everyone runs out of supplies, won't we be waiting for death?" Zhou Peng was devastated and fell silent. Yu Ching continued, "Zhou Peng, you are a good person. When you love someone, you should want them to be happy, right? Although you have helped me before, in the end, what you can give me is not as much as what Jang Yi can offer." Zhou Peng couldn't believe what he was hearing and sat there in disbelief, feeling used by a manipulative girl. Sister Wang then told Zhou Peng, "Cousin, don't be so angry over this girl, Yu Ching. Save yourself first." As Yu Ching walked away, Li Kaining rushed to be with her, saying, "How can you enjoy all the benefits alone?" She tackled Yu Ching and grabbed her wrist, but Yu Ching insisted for her to let go, expressing her desire to live. Li Kaining then locked her in a room. Sister Wang pointed at Yu Ching and said, "You've seen it too. This woman only thinks about herself and doesn't consider anyone else. Keep an eye on her. Don't let her escape." Dr. Zhou Ke-er, hearing all the commotion, said, "I've dealt with it temporarily without medication. Infections are likely to occur later to the wounds of the guys. You must be mentally prepared." With that, Dr. Zhou Ke-er left. Sun Ji Chao then mentioned that he had a plan to deal with Jang Yi. Sister Wang asked, "What's the plan?" Sun Ji Chao replied, "There's a fireplace in Jang Yi's house, which means he hoarded a lot of fuel. In the video, there is plenty of food. It's obvious we can't handle Jang Yi alone. It's better to leak the news to the others. Let the entire building know. Let hundreds of people and Chen Jenha's gang of mad dogs demolish his house. Then we will get a share of the spoils." Yu Ching shouted at them, "You are so shameless. I will live with Jang Yi from now on. If you destroy him, what will I do in the future?" Sister Wang then raised her hand to Yu Ching, preparing to slap her, and shouted, "It's all your fault." "You shameless girl," Zhou Ping shouted at Sister Wang to stop, but she retorted, "This woman has already hurt you. She wants to throw herself into the arms of another man. Why are you defending her?" Zhou Ping replied firmly, "I won't allow you to say that about her. I truly love you, Ching. As long as I spend time impressing her, sooner or later, she will fall in love with me." Turning to Yu Ching, he said, "Don't be scared. You have me." Sister Wang walked away, muttering, "Useless trash. You will regret protecting that shameless girl, Yu Ching." In the group chat of the Eula Community Owner Group Unit 25, Sister Wang wrote, "Dear neighbor, now I see that there are still people living such a happy and shameless life with this selfish behavior." And she reposted the videos of wine with steak, wine with roast chicken, and other food items. She continued, "Look at the videos and photos of Jang Yi's family. Think about the life we've been living recently compared to his. Do you think this is fair?" Sister Wang added, "Let's discuss how we should handle this matter." Chen Jenha read the message and couldn't help but drool over the pictures of the food. He thought to himself, Jang Yi has so many good things. I will take revenge. In the group chat, Owner AA expressed, "Everyone is living in such misery now, on the brink of freezing and starving to death. You have so much food and fuel in your house. Share some with everyone." Owner BB chimed in, "Yes, everyone will remember your kindness. I hope you're not ignorant." Auntie Lynn, the head of the neighborhood committee and building leader, asserted, "I have the final say. Bring these supplies, and Auntie Lynn will distribute them to everyone." Ji Li Mei pleaded, "My baby and I are starving. Didn't you praise my baby as cute before? Save us. I can make you my baby's godfather or fulfill any other requests you might have." "If you know what I mean," Shu Hao offered. "As long as you let me live in your house, I can give you all my assets. My father and my family's assets of more than 1 billion will be yours." Jang Yi, while eating his steak, casually said to the voice chat, Why should I?" "Am I familiar with you, guy?" Suddenly, his steak transformed into cheese, and he gazed at his reflection in the fork, muttering to himself, "You were also like this at times, treating me like meat on the chopping board, cutting me into pieces. How can anyone reason with a bunch of irrational beasts?" Outside, the man with glasses remarked, "Is this guy really not afraid of death? We can drown him with a spit from each of us." Auntie Lynn commented, "This kid isn't worth anything. In this situation, he's selfish and only wants to enjoy happiness for himself." Shu Hao added angrily, "Stubborn bastard, I will deal with you when I get through this snowstorm." Jang Yi continued to read the messages as he poured wine into his glass, letting his meal grow cold. His phone was flooded with private messages from various individuals. One person said, "Are you even human? We've been neighbors for a while now. Shouldn't we help each other?" Another added, "What's the point of living alone? Young people shouldn't just think of themselves. They should learn to contribute." Yet another person chimed in, "If you had hidden the news and secretly stockpiled supplies for yourself, how would we end up today?" And another concluded, "Yeah, it's all your fault that everyone is enduring such misery now. You must atone." Jang Yi looked outside his window and remarked, "It's quite boring to stay at home every day. Why not find some time to go out?" Then he remembered, "Oh yeah, I still have a few snowmobiles in my storage." Dancing with his wine in hand, Jang Yi mused, "Although it's impossible for me to leave now with this method, I'll be safe and secure in the future. I can go out and enjoy some fresh air." Suddenly, he stopped dancing and checked his phone. It was Dr. Zhou Kier. Jang Yi thought to himself, as expected of a doctor, she's very sensible, not begging for a handout. He then reflected on how Dr. Zhou Kier died in the previous life, because she gave her last bit of food to Ji Li Mei and her daughter. Jang Yi thought she looked so cold-hearted, but at the critical moment, she was much more enthusiastic than others. Maybe I should have her take care of me. It's a pity that the smarter a woman is, the easier it is for them to betray me. After all, I am really scared of death. Considering Dr. Zhou Kier, he decided, I can consider her, but I can't let her in without being 100% sure. Jang Yi replied to Dr. Zhou Kier, saying, "If you want to exchange, at least come up with something useful to me." Dr. Zhou Kier responded, "I can be your personal doctor. I really can't take it anymore here." She thought to herself, "I've never begged a stranger like this before. I'm embarrassed." Jang Yi replied, "I can give you food and medicine, but you'll have to do me a favor." Dr. Zhou Kier inquired, "What favor?" Jang Yi explained, "It's very simple. Those neighbors will soon be unable to hold on and might attack me. I want you to monitor them and report back to me at any time. It's your choice to betray them and surrender to me or follow the crowd and continue to watch. The Jokier promised Jang Yi, who thought to himself, good, she fell for it. Jang Yi then told her, you must come to me with useful information in exchange for what you want. You know exactly what to do next. Dr. Jokier replied that she understood and quietly contemplated her next steps. Suddenly, someone messaged Jang Yi, Jang Yi, you are dead. Quickly give us an answer whether you will hand over the stuff. Jang Yi thought they were getting more and more out of hand. He sent a voice message, I would rather burn everything I have. I also won't give you guys anything. Sun Jichao thought to himself, you still dare to say it even when you're in this situation? Let's see how long you can continue to act like this. They created another group chat titled, Deal with Jang Yi Countermeasure Group. Chen Jenha messaged the group, everyone, our primary goal now is to deal with Jang Yi. He probably has more supplies than all of us combined. As long as we defeat him, we can get a lot of supplies. So don't worry, I won't attack anyone else now. But for this operation, I want half of the supplies. Sun Jichao added in a voice chat, yeah. Everyone should put aside their previous grudges for the time being. The primary goal is to break into Jang Yi's house and get resources for the community. Dr. Zhou Ke read all the messages and wanted to tell Jang Yi immediately, while Uncle Yu also read the message and said, everyone is crazy. We need to quickly notify Jang Yi. Dr. Zhou Ke messaged Jang Yi, they are going to your house now. Jang Yi replied, okay, I got it, and prepared his gun in his armory. Dr. Zhou Ke pleaded with Jang Yi. They saw the video and all went crazy. Every household is preparing to go to your house. Can't you think of a way? Jang Yi sent Dr. Zhou Ke a voice chat saying, you must not come over this time. Remember, I will only remind you once. Then let's watch a good show. He then mimicked the sound of a gunshot with his pistol in his hands. In another scene, the neighbors marched up the stairs chanting Jang Yi's name. They shouted that they had weapons and were going to kill Jang Yi, calling him despicable and selfish. Leading them was Chen Jenha with a pipe, saying that Jang Yi brought this upon himself and deserved to die. Someone shouted, Jang Yi, get out here if you don't want to die. This is your last chance. A man then tried to hammer down Jang Yi's door, while another warned, don't wait for us to break the door. Otherwise, it will be too late to say anything by then. Jang Yi looked at his tablet and remarked, Sun Jichao and Chen Jenha are really a good pair, leading the way to your death. A bunch of cannon fodder wasted in vain. He then pressed the switch to electrocute the guy with the hammer, instantly electrocuting him and the others beside him, leaving them burnt to a crisp. The people then grew scared of the crispy bodies and tried to leave, but Chen Jenha and his gang blocked the hallway. Someone said to Chen Jenha, Brother Chen Jenha, Jang Yi's door has high voltage electricity. Many people were killed. Chen Jenha then pointed his water gun at this person and said, so where are you guys planning to go? Sun Jichao shouted, Jang Yi is a despicable bastard. He even killed his own neighbor. We must kill Jang Yi and avenge those who died. Don't be afraid, everyone. Ram down his door. He doesn't have many tricks left. As long as we break his door, there will be endless food waiting for us. He thought to himself that they had endured coldness and hunger for more than half a month, and as long as they could get inside, their deaths would be worth it. The crowd outside began to ram Jang Yi's door with a log, shouting to ram it and, once open, to kill Jang Yi. Inside, Jang Yi simply put on his speaker to cover the noise, yawned, and remarked, when do they plan to stop? He held his wine in hand and played music to urge the crowd to ram the door faster. The people outside grew angrier, shouting, arrogant bastard Jang Yi, just you wait. We will kill you soon. You will die today. I will take revenge for my brother. A few hours later, exhausted, they questioned, I can't do it anymore. Why is the door still fine? What kind of door is this? Why is it so tough? A smart-looking guy used a magnifying glass to examine the steel door and exclaimed, this is the security door of a bank vault. It's the same as the one where I work. Another person added, damn it, there is no way to break it. The smart guy continued, not to mention ramming it with a wooden battering ram. This top-notch security door cannot be blown open, even with a bomb. If we don't have the key, we can't open it. Unless we have a world-class top lockpicking expert, there is no chance of opening it. Jang Yi then peeked outside and shot his crossbow, hitting the smart guy in the throat with a rusty arrow. Panic ensued among the people, and they scrambled away from the door. Some accused each other. Why are you pushing me? There's something wrong with your brain. Another retorted. You're the one who pushed me. Stop pretending to be noble. or I will kill you first." Amidst the chaos, accusations were thrown at Jang Yi. "You deserve to die. Monster! Despicable best! Why don't you go to the underworld?" Meanwhile, Jang Yi prepared another rusty arrow on his bow as Sun Ji Chao shouted, "Don't worry, everyone. I have a great solution." And Sun Ji Chao mentioned that although Jang Yi's door is made of metal, they cannot break it. However, the wall can easily be broken. The crowd agreed, with some admitting they hadn't considered this before. Another person remarked that with so many of them, it wouldn't take long to smash through Jang Yi's wall. They proceeded to start smashing the wall, causing it to crack. Sun Ji Chao declared that once they smashed the wall, Jang Yi, the scoundrel, would no longer be able to laugh. As the wall cracked, one of the individuals smashing it complained about its hardness. They then discovered something beneath the concrete wall. Sun Ji Chao looked closer and noticed another metal wall inside the concrete. Frustration spread among them, with one asking why this was happening. Another questioned who in the world would reinforce their wall with steel plate. Someone else expressed disbelief that the entire house could be made of steel. They all attempted to test the walls. Meanwhile, in his room, Jang Yi, looking at his wine, remarked, "Something you guys might not have considered. Why would I neglect such a thing? The outer wall of this house is reinforced with 20 centimeters of fine steel. Even cannonballs can't break it. So, just rely on your hammers and spears. Keep up the good work, but don't waste your strength. It's futile to continue." Jang Yi then activated the noise reduction function of his apartment on his banana pad. Outside, the people grew exhausted trying to break through the wall. One of them wondered how this could have happened. Another remarked that when they first saw him renovating his house, they never imagined it would turn out like this. Sun Ji Chao grew frustrated, exclaiming that he had known all along there would be obstacles. Everything Jang Yi did was to thwart them. The people became angry, calling Jang Yi despicable and selfish, accusing him of caring only about his own life. One person questioned the point of living alone if everyone else was dead, expressing loneliness at being the only one left in the world. Another asked Jang Yi if he could even sleep at night, questioning if he felt any guilt. Someone else broke into tears, warning Jang Yi that one day he would be haunted by regret for not helping them. As Chen Jenha watched with his water gun, he remarked, "Why rush? This is just the beginning. Even if the walls are reinforced, there's still the ceiling and floor." Chen Jenha then suggested splitting into two groups, refusing to believe that Jang Yi's entire house was a steel box. The neighborhood began hammering down all the angles of Jang Yi's house. Meanwhile, inside his house, Jang Yi reflected, "Chen Jenha is quite smart, but unfortunately, I am not foolish." He could hear the ants trying to infiltrate his house. Upstairs, people discovered steel under the floor, exclaiming disbelief. They wondered how they could possibly get in. Another group realized that the ceiling, bottom, left and right sides were all steel. Jang Yi's house seemed to be an airtight metal box. One person, sitting on the side with a grumbling stomach, felt even hungrier after attempting to break through the walls and ceiling of Jang Yi's house. They all felt as if they were starving to death. Looking at another person, one of them muttered, "Yes, isn't this meat?" and drooled. Two people looked at each other and drooled, one of them remarking on how hot it was after working for so long. The other agreed, expressing exhaustion. Sun Ji Chao muttered to himself in frustration, wondering if there was truly nothing they could do. He cursed Jang Yi, questioning how he could live alone, why he wouldn't trade his life for theirs. "What good is sacrificing yourself? Why can't you do it?" he lamented. A well-dressed man, looking smart, suggested, "Maybe we can try the balcony." His girlfriend added that during the renovation, the balcony had been transformed into a large glass sliding window. She proposed that there might be a chance to break in from there. A girl, becoming excited, exclaimed, "A window? Where there are windows, there is an entrance. He can't completely seal off the metal box." Another person chimed in, "If there's a window, we can break it and get in." In another scene, they attempted to reach Jang Yi's balcony through another room, using a plank of wood as a makeshift bridge. Meanwhile, Jang Yi calmly sipped his hot tea, his weapons by his side, observing them through the balcony. He mused to himself that if they were truly zombies, they would probably resemble these people. One of them began hammering at the glass panel, shouting, "After I break this, you're finished. You selfish bastard. Your arrogance won't last long. Today is the day you die. All this delicious food will be mine." Jang Yi calmly set down his steaming tea on the coffee table, went to the kitchen, grabbed a bottle of gasoline, and lit it. Soon, You guys will stop barking, he declared. I'll warm you up, don't forget to thank me. With that, he hurled the Molotov cocktail into the opening of his house. The people outside on the balcony saw something drop from the ceiling, the bottle engulfed in flames. They were instantly warmed in the cold weather as Jang Yi leaped out of the balcony, screaming, while the others danced amidst the flames. Jang Yi watched them as he prepared another Molotov cocktail. The people on his balcony tried to escape, but Sun Jichao blocked their path. Stay away from us. You can't be saved anymore. Don't drag us into it, he warned. They all tumbled into the snow downstairs, while Sun Jichao blocked the path to avoid being caught in the fire. He and the others used the flaming bodies for warmth, desperate in the cold. A person attempted once more to reach Jang Yi's balcony, inadvertently stepping on the arm of one of the previous individuals who had tried to enter Jang Yi's apartment. The arm shattered like glass, startling the person. He pleaded with Jang Yi, I'm starving to death. Please help me. Even if you just give me a piece of bread, I'll be very grateful. Others joined in, begging, please, we were wrong. You still have so much food at home. Give us some. Whatever you want us to do, we'll listen to you. Jang Yi reclined on his sofa, casually eating his steaming hot noodles. Guys, don't be like that. It's very uncomfortable, he remarked between bites. Whenever I feel uncomfortable, I want to eat. Outside his apartment, the people drooled, desperate for food. Jang Yi set down his noodle soup, saying, I can give you guys another chance, a good chance. Now, whoever can bring me Chen Jenha's head, I'll let them eat noodles like this for a week. Suddenly, the people on the balcony stopped their commotion. On the neighboring balcony, Chen Jenha noticed and asked, why did they stop banging the glass? Did Jang Yi say something to them? The crowd on Jang Yi's balcony then turned their anger towards Chen Jenha, fixating on him. Chen Jenha raised his gun, warning them to stay away. He realized that Jang Yi had sent a message to the group chat, offering a week's worth of food to whoever could kill Chen Jenha. Furious, Chen Jenha thought to himself that Jang Yi was a despicable, shameless bastard, plotting to use this method to kill him. He tried to escape, his goons blocking the people chasing him. One of the goons questioned, wait, what do we do if you leave? Another exclaimed, damn it, if we can't get in, what else can we do? Let's find another way later. The next day, two people spoke in the hallway. The girlfriend expressed concern. Do you really want to do this? Do you know how many people Chen Jenha has killed? Can we kill him before he shoots? Her boyfriend retorted. What nonsense are you talking about? If we continue to starve, we'll die too. How long can a cripple like Chen Jenha survive? If we try, we might be able to exchange for food with Jang Yi. In his room, Chen Jenha pointed his gun towards the hallway, shouting, what are you guys waiting for? Hurry up. If you're late, you'll be chewing on ice. It's not like you haven't eaten anything yet. Move faster. He barked orders to his goons, preparing for what was to come. Suddenly, the two individuals waiting for Chen Jenha to emerge from his room leaped forward, attacking him with a cleaver. His goons shouted warnings, Brother Chen Jenha, watch out, as they rushed to defend him. For outside, the blizzard raged on relentlessly, adding to the chaos. In the hallway, Chen Jenha fired shots at the two individuals who had attempted to attack him with cleavers. As his goons dragged away the bodies, Chen Jenha coldly stated, if you want to kill me, you'll have to die first. Remember to cut them into pieces. One of his goons pointed out, Brother Chen Jenha, your back is injured. Indeed, Chen Jenha's back was sliced up, and he needed assistance to make it back to his room. Once there, he urgently called for Dr. Zhou Keir to come and attend to his wound. In another scene, Dr. Zhou Keir arrived and began to apply bandages to Chen Jenha's wound. She made it clear that she wasn't doing this for free. Chen Jenha responded, you can take some of the food, as his goons indulged in a bowl of special meat. Dr. Zhou Keir, visibly disgusted, refused, saying she would rather die than accept. Chen Jenha expressed his reluctance to let such a scenario happen, emphasizing the importance of doctors in today's world. He ominously added, don't worry, one day when I have to sacrifice you, you'll be the last person I'm left with. He attempted to touch Dr. Zhou Keir's face, but she slapped his hand away. She hurriedly tried to leave the apartment, but two of Chen Jenha's goons blocked her path. What are you guys planning to do? She demanded. Chen Jenha replied, nothing. Until I recover, you can't leave. He brandished his gun, making it clear that the situation was not optional. His goons voiced their frustrations, one lamenting their failed attempts to attack Jang Yi's house. Another described Jang Yi as a coward, hiding inside his turtle shell of a house. I don't believe he won't leave his house. We should move to his neighbor. There might be a chance, one of them suggested. Meanwhile, Dr. Zhou Qi'er overheard their conversation and feigned the need to use the bathroom. As she walked away, she quickly messaged Jang Yi, warning him of Chen Jenha's plan to move to his neighbors and ambush him. Jang Yi replied, instructing her to continue observing. Chen Jenha swiftly made his move, heading towards Jang Yi's neighbor's apartment. The couple who lived there greeted him, offering the house to him. Brother Chen Jenha, this house is yours from now on. We'll leave right away, they said. Chen Jenha and his gang entered the apartment, casting strange glances at the departing couple. The couple explained that they had given them the apartment for free and left behind a little food to last for a while. Suddenly, Chen Jenha's goons turned violent, attacking and beating the couple, ensuring they would sleep forever. They're naive, Chen Jenha remarked coldly. Why would I let food escape from me? Dr. Zhou Qi'er, shocked and horrified by the brutality, could hardly believe what was unfolding before her. Chen Jenha turned to her and said, It's getting colder. We should store some food in case we run out. His demeanor chilling as they planned for the grim days ahead. In Sister Wang Min's home, the trio who had been shot with the rust arrow by Jang Yi began to feel the effects of the infection spreading. Sun Ji Chao cried out in agony. What's happening? It's itching me to death. He examined his wound, horrified to see the infection spreading rapidly. No, it can't be. I don't want to die. I'm not ready, he wailed, breaking down in tears. Zhou Peng and the guy with noodle-like hair inspected their own wounds. The noodle-haired guy lamented, It's over for us. We're finished. We're all going to sleep forever. Zhou Peng turned to his cousin, Sister Wang Min, pleading, Cousin, please go and beg Jang Yi again. If things continue like this, all three of us will end up sleeping forever. Sister Wang Min coldly replied, I can't do anything about it. You're on your own. Good luck. A few days later, Jang Yi observed Chen Jenha on his banana tablet via CCTV. He chuckled to himself, after squatting for a few days and accomplishing nothing. What are you planning to do next, Chen Jenha? Meanwhile, Chen Jenha stood before the crowd, pointing his gun and urging, Everyone, please behave. As long as we work together, we can still survive. However, in his thoughts, he worried about their dwindling bullets and provisions. He knew they needed to be cautious of outsiders and watch out for any traitors among them. He resolved to capture Jang Yi quickly. Back in his couch, enjoying popcorn and watching the chaos unfold, Jang Yi commented, Chen Jenha is truly a coward, using threats to coerce a group of people into serving as his thugs just to avoid attacks from others. He then summoned Dr. Zhou Qi'er, asking for updates. Dr. Zhou Qi'er replied grimly, Chen Jenha and his gang have gone mad. With all the food gone, they're gathering the able-bodied people left in the apartment, raiding the homes of the weaker ones, wreaking havoc and plundering. These past few days, they've been going out every day, storming into houses, putting people to eternal sleep, and then making stew. I haven't eaten anything in 2 days. I'm on the brink of starvation. Jang Yi, can you still save me? Listening to her plight, Jang Yi realized the importance of keeping Dr. Zhou Qi'er alive. He couldn't let such a skilled doctor perish. After some contemplation, he decided it was time to give her a chance to make a move and help herself. Additionally, he planned to serve Chen Jenha a taste of his own medicine. Outside Jang Yi's apartment, Zhou Peng banged on the door, shouting angrily, Jang Yi, get the hell out of here! All day hiding in your house, you're just a useless waste. Jang Yi taunted him through the door. Zhou Peng, the taste of infection isn't pleasant, is it? Your wound is at least 10 centimeters deep. Once the tetanus bacteria from the rust enters, it's like maggots finding a rotting corpse, reproducing frantically. The cold outside keeps your flesh warm, providing a perfect environment for bacteria to thrive and devour your flesh, spreading through your body. As Jang Yi read articles about tetanus on Google, Zhou Peng grew more enraged, vowing to kill Jang Yi. Jang Yi coolly replied, Anyway, you're as good as sleeping forever, incurable in the late stages of infection. Instead of waiting for your demise, why not seize the opportunity to do the things you never dared to while you're still breathing? Outside, Zhou Peng listened to Jang Yi's words, his mind spinning with thoughts and emotions, as the situation inside and outside the apartment grew more intense by the moment. In the hallway, Zhou Peng, resigned to his imminent demise, decided to take a drastic step. He approached Yu Ching, who was taken aback by his sudden proximity. "Zhou Peng, what are you doing?" she asked in alarm. Zhou Peng looked at Yu Ching with desperation and asked, "Yu Ching, will you marry me?" However, Yu Ching, repulsed by the stench emanating from Zhou Peng, pinched her nose and replied firmly, "No way in hell!" She then slapped him and exclaimed, "Get out of here, you dying thing. Yee. I still have to find Jang Yi. Who do you think you are? You're not even a spare tire to me." Heartbroken, Zhou Peng cried out, "No, this can't be true." In a fit of desperation, he lunged at Yu Ching, choking her. "No, you love me. I'm about to die. Let's go to hell together and be together forever," he exclaimed. Yu Ching, fighting against his grasp, slapped him again and retorted, "No, stay away from me. You're too stinky and disgusting." Enraged, Zhou Peng shouted back, "You dare to call me stinky? You forced me to do this. It's all your fault." He tightened his grip on Yu Ching's throat, accusing her, "You're the one who is useless. So who else can you blame? You're just a pathetic, desperate waste." In another scene, Dr. Zhou Ke, despite the risks, had agreed to Jang Yi's plan. She knew that if she didn't, she would likely meet her end at their hands anyway. She approached Chen Jenha and informed him that she would assist him. Chen Jenha laughed, saying, "I knew you couldn't resist." Dr. Zhou Ke replied firmly, "I don't want to die. I want to live." Chen Jenha nodded and instructed her, "All right, go and help him." He then directed her to the axe and firewood, telling her to chop them up. Dr. Zhou Ke followed his instruction, chopping the wood while the man prepared the stove. He instructed her to keep an eye on the fire to ensure it didn't go out. As she worked, she thought to herself, "Fortunately, they are not wary of me. I should be able to make a move now." Once the stew was prepared, Dr. Zhou Ke added the drugs, feeling disgusted by the special meat in the concoction. Later, as they all sat in the living room to eat, Chen Jenha remarked, "I never imagined Dr. Zhou Ke would become part of our group one day." As they ate, Dr. Zhou Ke, feeling uneasy, asked if she could find a chair to sit on in the back of the room. Another goon commented, "Brother Chen Jenha is right. Even a stunning beauty like Dr. Zhou Ke will give in when starving." In the back of the room, Dr. Zhou Ke steeled herself, having added a significant amount of sleeping pills to the stew. She knew that just one pill could induce deep sleep for half an hour. "Now all I can do is wait and hope they won't notice that I have tampered with this soup," she thought to herself. Moments later, Chen Jenha and his gang began to feel the effects of the drugged stew. They all fell asleep in the living room. Dr. Zhou Ke observed them and realized that the sleeping pills, mixed with dietary supplements, were taking effect. Quickly, she messaged Jang Yi, informing him, "I have heavily dosed them with sleeping pills mixed with dietary supplements. They have all fallen asleep. What is your next move?" Jang Yi replied promptly, instructing her, "Drag them up to the balcony." Dr. Zhou Ke diligently followed Jang Yi's instructions, dragging all of Chen Jenha's gang members and Chen Jenha himself to the balcony. Jang Yi, observing from his own balcony, commended her, "Very good, Dr. Zhou Ke. Chen Jenha and his gang are all here now." Curious about Jang Yi's intentions, Dr. Zhou Ke asked if he planned to make them all sleep forever. In response, Jang Yi tossed her a rope and explained, "I won't take action, but it's up to you." He then instructed her to retrieve the handgun from Chen Jenha and hand it over to him. Additionally, he told her to use the ropes to bind all of their hands behind their backs to the railings. Dr. Zhou Ke, somewhat surprised by Jang Yi's caution, remarked, "You are overly cautious." She couldn't help but wonder why Jang Yi wouldn't lend a hand himself and be more of a gentleman. Jang Yi, pointing his gun at the group on the balcony, replied firmly, "It's better to be cautious than to take the risk." Following his instructions, Dr. Zhou Ke proceeded to tie up all of Chen Jenha's gang members and Chen Jenha himself. She retrieved the handgun from Chen Jenha. Jang Yi then shouted at her to remove the magazine from the gun and toss it to him, along with the handgun. He instructed her to step back from them first. Dr. Zhou Ke, understandably wary, asked, "How can I trust you?" "What if you betray me later?" Jang Yi replied calmly, "You have no other choice but to trust me." Dr. Zhou Ke then removed the magazine and tossed it to Jang Yi. He caught the gun, examining it closely and noting that it was the same as the one he had seen Chen Jenha using on the CCTV footage. Returning to his apartment, Jang Yi took a hose and sprayed water over the bodies of Chen Jenha's gang members and Chen Jenha himself, chilling them a little as they slept. Meanwhile, Dr. Zhou Ke returned to the living room and watched from inside as Jang Yi showered them with freezing water from the balcony. She couldn't help but think to herself that Jang Yi was freezing these people alive, a brutal but effective method to ensure their safety. Suddenly, Chen Jenha woke up from his slumber, followed by his gang member. Confused and shivering, they wondered aloud about the source of the cold water. Chen Jenha, realizing something was amiss, shouted at Jang Yi upon seeing him with the hose. Jang Yi, unfazed, retorted, "You have stirred up enough trouble. It's time for you to go and say hi to the King of Hell." With that, he turned on the hose stronger, spraying them with ice-cold freezing water. Jang Yi watched as they struggled in the freezing water, noting, okay, they won't survive much longer anyway. Pouring more water would just be a waste. After a few minutes, Chen Jenha was frozen beside an automatic washing machine. Satisfied with the outcome, Jang Yi called out to Dr. Zhou Ke, "You have passed the test. You can come over now." Exhausted and relieved, Dr. Zhou Ke dropped to the floor, knowing that the ordeal was finally over. She would go to Jang Yi's apartment, having completed her part in his plan to deal with Chen Jenha and his gang. Dr. Zhou Ke, outside Jang Yi's apartment, announced her arrival at the door. Jang Yi, holding his gun and monitoring the CCTV on his banana tablet, assessed that Dr. Zhou Ke didn't seem to have any dangerous items with her. He then instructed her to enter. Once inside, Jang Yi locked the door behind her. Dr. Zhou Ke, feeling as if she had just finished a 2-month marathon, immediately noticed the warmth inside the apartment. She removed her coat and remarked, "It's been a long time since I felt such warmth," as she began to sweat from the sudden heat. Jang Yi then surprised her by coming up behind her and pointing his gun, questioning if she had forgotten something important, namely, proving that she wasn't a threat to him. Blushing, Dr. Zhou Ke asked what he wanted her to do. Jang Yi simply asked her to prove that she wasn't hiding any weapons. He emphasized that since she had chosen to stand with him, there was no harm in being completely honest with each other. Without hesitation, Dr. Zhou Ke stripped down to her banana yellow underwear, showing off her body. Jang Yi applauded and enjoyed the show from the couch, praising her attitude as absolutely perfect. Jang Yi then handed her a nightgown, telling her to take a hot shower first after her long days of work. He assisted her to the bathroom and provided her with a set of clothes, explaining that he had selected them according to her size. If they didn't fit, he offered to find something else for her. After closing the door, Dr. Zhou Ke proceeded to take a shower. While she was showering, Jang Yi confiscated the syringes belonging to Dr. Zhou Ke. After she finished, Dr. Zhou Ke thanked Jang Yi for the dress, confirming that the size was just right. Jang Yi then asked her to sit on the couch. As he brushed her long, silky hair, he told her that she must keep in mind that he had allowed her to stay because she still held significant value to him. This was a preferential treatment, but she must comply with all his order. He warned her that if he caught her plotting against him, he wouldn't hesitate to kill her without mercy. Dr. Zhou Ke thought to herself that Jang Yi was indeed cold-blooded. Jang Yi then pointed to the door, informing her that she would be staying in this bedroom. He explained that there were surveillance cameras throughout the house, ensuring her movements were monitored. She was only allowed to enter and exit during the specified times he provided. If she had any objections, she was free to leave. Dr. Zhou Ke agreed, stating that she would listen to Jang Yi. Jang Yi responded, commending her wise choice. He reminded her of the dire circumstances outside, suggesting that aside from depending on him, there might not be a better option. As he continued to brush her hair, Jang Yi hinted that he was going to share a secret with her, asking if she was willing to hear it. Jang Yi explained to Dr. Zhou Ke that keeping secrets was vital for building a cooperative relationship. He expressed his confidence in not fearing leaks, citing that everyone who had attempted to harm him before had been taken care of. Dr. Zhou Ke replied that she understood. Taking a seat on the couch, Jang Yi continued to share information. He mentioned that Dr. Zhou Ke might have seen it online as well. The gamma-ray bursts caused by supernova explosions were the fundamental cause of the snow disaster. He explained that radiation not only changed the weather but also affected the human body, granting extraordinary abilities. In his case, he gained the ability to access an independent and different space. To demonstrate, Jang Yi summoned a loaf of bread from his special dimension, shocking Dr. Zhou Ke. The bread materialized out of thin air and Jang Yi tossed it towards her. He went on to explain that most of the provisions were stored in this different space, and if he were to die, those supplies would disappear as well. Thus, only while he was alive would Dr. Jokier have the chance to make use of them and have a way to survive. Dr. Jokier, amazed at the display of superpower, observed the bag of bread, realizing that there were indeed people with extraordinary abilities. Jang Yi urged her to go ahead and eat the bread, which she immediately devoured. He then handed her a glass of water. Jang Yi explained that while she hadn't gained his full trust yet, she should know what needed to be done without him having to tell her every household chore. Dr. Jokier drank the entire glass of water in one go. He instructed her about disposing of waste, mentioning that the sewer had been frozen for a while. She was to use the concealed door by the window to dispose of the plastic bags. As Dr. Jokier tried to speak, Jang Yi placed his finger on her lips, declaring that it was the maid's duty to exchange labor and food for payment. He asked her what else she could provide. They then got closer and played on the couch for a minute, before Jang Yi finished. The next day, Dr. Jokier was still asleep in bed when Jang Yi brought food for her. He thought to himself that she must be tired from the previous night. Jang Yi knocked on the door and asked if she wanted to come out and eat. Dr. Jokier woke up, stretched, and replied that she would come over right away. Sitting on the sofa, Dr. Jokier quickly ate her burger while Jang Yi watched his new girlfriend. After a few moments, Jang Yi asked if she had finished eating. Dr. Jokier replied that she hadn't eaten enough yet, cautioning against eating too much at once. Jang Yi asked again if she was finished, and then tossed her coat to her, instructing her to come and help with the work. Dr. Jokier immediately dressed and followed Jang Yi onto the balcony. Curious, she asked what they were going to do. With a menacing look, Jang Yi replied, "Let's go and smash the lump of ice." Dr. Jokier, holding the baseball bat, questioned why they needed to smash the ice when Chen Jenha and his gang were already sleeping forever. Jang Yi handed her the bat and explained that even as bodies, trash remained trash. It was unsightly and repulsive, like bothersome flies. Additionally, smashing the bodies as a deterrent would make the remaining ones understand who truly held power. Out on the balcony, Jang Yi guided Dr. Jokier, telling her that it was her time to shine for the sake of their unbreakable cooperation. Dr. Jokier, somewhat skeptical, asked if Jang Yi was being too cautious. She then crossed over to the balcony and began smashing the ice while Jang Yi filmed her with his banana phone. Seeing that Jang Yi was recording, Dr. Jokier asked if he was documenting it. Jang Yi, with a smile on his face, confirmed that he was indeed recording to show those who were dishonest that they needed to know who was in charge. Dr. Jokier continued to smash the ice diligently. A little while later, Jang Yi sent the video to the group chat, instantly eliciting joy from the people. Sister Wang Min expressed excitement, declaring that the devil Chen Jenha was finally sleeping forever. Another person happily moved a washing machine out of the door, exclaiming their newfound freedom. Someone cried tears of joy, relieved that Chen Jenha was gone for good. Jang Yi then sent a voice message to the group chat, announcing that Chen Jenha was indeed sleeping forever, and from that moment on, the building would be under his control. A person in the chat asked Jang Yi if he had ended Chen Jenha. A lady thanked him for getting rid of the damn devil. A man, visibly hungry, inquired if Jang Yi had any food left, mentioning the loss of his son and daughter but his own desire to keep living. Suddenly, Ching called Jang Yi. Surprised that she had managed to survive, Jang Yi couldn't resist answering the call. Ching asked if he was with Dr. Jokier, and then continued, expressing her desire to stay with him now that Chen Jenha was dead. She reminded Jang Yi of his promise to provide her with a life of comfort and happiness, with enough food and warm clothes. Asserting her possessiveness, Ching declared that he was not allowed to be with other women, and that everything about him belonged to her. Jang Yi coolly replied to Ching's frantic accusations, "Oh, you're not sleeping forever yet?" Ching, in her frenzy, lashed out, questioning if Jang Yi believed she was already gone for good, leading him to let that wretched Dr. Jokier move into his house. She declared her undying love for Jang Yi, claiming that Dr. Jokier was nothing compared to her. Ching demanded that Jang Yi kick the girl dog out of the house so they could be together forever. In the background, Sister Wang Min and Li Caning heard Ching's words over the phone, and they became furious, their eyes blazing with anger. Ching's voice continued, "Ah, you wretch, Let me go. I'm going to live in Jang Yi's house. Sister Wang Min retorted, saying that Yu Qing was the one who deserved to sleep forever for bringing misery upon them. Li Kening added, dream on. Why should you get to live well? Let's both go to hell together. Dr. Zhou Ke'er, startled by the intensity of their voices, grabbed Jang Yi's arms on the couch and assured him, I won't end up like them, so you can trust me. She then rested her head on Jang Yi's shoulder, seeking comfort and safety. Jang Yi, inwardly reflecting on the situation, realized that if Yu Qing could see Dr. Zhou Ke'er with him now, it would only drive her even more crazy and mad with jealousy. Thank you for tuning into my videos. I hope you've been enjoying them. I'd like to ask for a small favor. I've noticed that only 7.7% of you are subscribed to my channel. To all my viewers, I greatly appreciate your support in helping my channel grow. Please consider hitting the like button, subscribing, and sharing your feedback with me. Your input will help me enhance the quality of my videos. Thank you all so much, and lots of love to each and every one of you.